Yeah, they're like, what the fuck's the wait?
Hello, I'm Eagle Gardens 1 on Instagram, and this is fucking Talking Shit with Eagle. This is episode 100. I didn't think this episode would come this quickly, man. They are stacking up. Even though some would call this a milestone, I am not going to be that guy because I'm hoping to make it to 1,000 at least. I know, set the bar high, right? Set the bar high. But without further ado, let's introduce our guest. I'm looking forward to this. This is going to be a fun guest. endopharm1. How are you doing tonight? Why don't you introduce yourself and tell everybody where they can find you, and how was your day? Let's go from there.
Well, I am Endopharm. Everybody knows me as Endo. You can find me on Instagram at endopharm1 or endopharm11. I got a backup account. I got a fucking kind of a notoriety for getting banned over stupid shit on Instagram, unfortunately, like posting my logo, which doesn't even have a pot leaf in it or anything. But yeah, I'm just, I'm a cannabis grower, breeder, humanitarian, philanthropist. I just philosophy. I love helping out people, and former registered nutritional consultant practitioner. And I kind of touch base on everything: cannabinoid sciences, growing, and ramble all over the place. And you'll notice that because I am on 4.8 grams of penis envy right now. And I know my brother Eagle has dabbled in those dark arts too, brother.
Yes, I have matched up. I have matched up with him. Not the penis envy. Mine's I forget exactly the name. I have a struggle with it. It's like Gobo Tempe. GA16. I talked about it with Endra. It's quite psychedelic. It's going to be a fun night, that's for sure.
Oh yeah.
So
look forward to it.
It sounds like there's many roads that we can journey down tonight. That's for sure. Oh my God! Look at all the comments in the chat. I'm going to have to take a second and just do a couple quick shout outs here because it is 100 and they're saying happy 100. So I got to address a little bit here. CJ, Arturo, Prometheus Soil, Aldrich 21, Smoking Crow, Frazier, Green Country Grower 417, Kineos Genetics. Thank you for the lead on a great guest. Very much, guys. Ready to hit that high fly. DOA, Grown Mids, Red Eye Rustler, Miss D's Nugs, Jack Greenstock. Holy cow, it's getting way out of control now. Damn Goblin, the Major General 4R20, the American one. Oh man, too many to just keep going with. Thank you guys for tuning in. Hope you enjoy this 100th episode. It's going to be a lot of fun. Some giveaways by myself. I stopped and got some goodies for you guys. Yeah, 100. We're 100 today, guys. We're 100 today.
Fuck yeah, brother. 100th episode. I'm just stoked to be a part of it. Shout out to Kineos for putting me on and linking us up. That's my brother, and his wife too. Mad respect to her. Always trying to share the love, and it was cool, bro. I didn't even really know about the show, to be honest with you, until Kineo hit me up and he was like, "Yo, check this out," and I was like, "Fuck yeah, this show rocks." You know what I mean? Next thing I know, I'm on it. So, mad props for that.
When he suggested, I hold both of those two in high regards. So when they came and says, I've got a good guest for you, I think you may be interested, I was definitely all ears. So it didn't take much persuasion. You know what I mean? From a good source like that, it didn't take much of a nudge to say, hell yeah. So I appreciate you coming on and taking the time to hang out here on this 100th episode. I know it's going to be a fun one. I know it's going to be a fun one.
Oh yeah, bro. We're gonna have a lot of fun, and I wish I could see the comments. Uh, you'll have to relay some questions, but it's gonna be a great time. We'll have fun, and that's what it's all about, right? That's what it's all about.
That's
Hopefully, a lot of people are tuning in, because we're doing big things right now. And in my crew, you know, I got nothing but love and respect for Kineo and his wife, and a lot of other people too that I'll probably shout out, you know, throughout the show. People that I love and respect and that have mentored me and inspired me. And I've always, you know, just been more of a humanitarian, and I just love teaching people how to grow and really helping people with illness, ailments, and disease. So if anyone has any questions regarding that or cannabinoid science, get at her. This is the 100th episode. Shout out to my boy Eagle. 100th episode. That's crazy, dude.
I'm liking SoCal's suggestion here. SoCal Weed Nerd in chat. He said, "Let's take 100 hits for the 100th episode." That's fair enough. I'd like to see you guys indulge in that challenge. That sounds like a good challenge right there. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'd love to see anyone do that.
Yeah, that sounds like a fun challenge just to take on any good day, much less 100th episode. But
Yeah, just make sure it's not that super broadleaf flower, right? That super indica, because they won't make it through the episode.
true that, true that,
They go at
true
night.
that. Paste, take a little paste to it.
You know what I mean? Be like taking some CBN and just fucking 50 milligrams of CBN and just I'm going to bed.
That CBN is no joke right there, man. That stuff. You take 50 milligrams of that, it would probably put you out for about a day and a half, wouldn't it?
Yeah, actually, I find it very hard to source. I do have a good source for it, but once I started dabbling around with it, because I used to, like, I've dealt with a lot of anxiety issues, especially in the last like 10 years. And CBN is, I've known for a long time, was kind of like the compound I was looking for. But there's not much money in producing it, right? So it's not one of those products like CBD that you're going to see flood the market. And the one I found came in a 50 milligram capsule, a liquid capsule. And basically what I would do is I would just take it, open it up, and I would dilute it into the oils I was making, right? So I could control the dose. So really what I found with myself and with other people is that you really only need about 2.5 to 5 milligrams for it to be really effective as a sleep aid, anxiolytic properties. You don't need much. 50 milligrams is way too much, but it's very, very effective. And I've spent probably the last year and a half, maybe 2 years, trying to shine some light on it, because it's a really underlooked cannabinoid, but it's very effective. You know, it works for pain relief too, muscle spasms, muscle relaxation, insomnia, sleep issues, obviously. It's a great part of cannabis, a great part of cannabis. And you would hear just the old stories of like, oh, you just got to let your flower degrade, you know, via heat to increase your CBN levels. But, you know, that's cool too. Do that if you have to. But at the same time, it's nice having it in isolate. You know what I mean? It's real quick acting, and you don't have to degrade your flower because it lowers the THC percentage as well. So, but extremely beneficial compound.
It is too, and both, you said you watch all the episodes, so I'm call you bluff a little bit. Breeder Steve was actually on at one point, and he was saying that was one of his favorite cannabinoids as well. And he was in the midst of patenting a process of a quick method of turning it to the next phase. He had a little something he could just make it in seconds, he said. But he wouldn't tell us how. So then we had John Indra on, and Indra was, we kind of touched base with him on it. He offered a couple of ways in that video to quickly convert. Well, one of them was actually just setting some flour in the sun in a bag for a few hours. He said quickly converted it over was one method. And he tossed out a couple other ones. So if you're really interested in that compound, I would check back. It was the second, by the way, I'd at least cue you that far. It was the second episode with Indra on there where he really talked a few methods on conversions with the to CBD or CBN. There you go. I don't know why I always like to throw that D in there. But I do.
That's because CBD is so popular now. You know what I mean? But yeah, I miss, if I still had access to a lab, I would tell you right now, I'd be able to make extractions very quickly. But I no longer work in those fields. Like as of right now, I'm basically, I'm growing, I'm breeding, I'm making personal medications for the community. And, at this point, I'm doing a little bit of seed selling too. But, back in the day, I had full access to a lab, because I worked in a lot of different fields, and we would do extractions and stuff like that. And at that time, they weren't related to cannabinoids or anything like that. But organic chemistry was a huge part of my upbringing. You know what I mean? So I had access to some pretty cool equipment back in the day, and I kind of wish I still had it, because I'd be helping a lot of people out if I still had some of that old equipment that I had back in the day when I was, 18, 19 years old.
It sounds like you're doing a pretty good chunk of helping people out anyways without the equipment. You can only do so much at one time, brother. You can only spread yourself so thin.
Anybody that knows me knows that, I've done this for 23, 24 years now, as an adult, I should say, started growing way earlier, but at least the last 23 years, like my main mission was not just cannabinoids and cannabis, and not just psychedelics and psilocybin and things like that. It was everything nutritional. I looked at every aspect of how to heal people from illness, ailments, and disease, or how to enhance performance in various factors. And it's basically been my life's work. Outside of that, I've done many other jobs too, but my brain just, I have high functioning Asperger's, so my brain works on a different level, and I keep really busy with that stuff. But I've worked in engineering. I've worked in the oil fields as a safety consultant.
Well, let's not go too deep there. I mean, technically, we're supposed to work it back from the beginning. That's usually the deal of the show. So yeah, I mean, technically, we'll get there. I don't want to like Tarantino this thing and just throw out the ends and middles.
I'm gonna end this show in 10 minutes. The 100th episode is gonna be the only one that didn't go 5 hours.
It's funny, man. Chet is killing me here tonight, man. They have just. With the congratulations on the 100th episode, and it's pretty cool. All I can see is red boxes. Well, I don't know. Probably you haven't done the YouTube thing, but when they, if you chatted on YouTube, it still does the red boxes when somebody says your name. So yeah, all I can see tonight is like red box, red box, red box, red box. Congratulations,
dope,
congratulations, congratulations.
that's dope,
How
dude.
cool is that?
But that's people showing you love, man. So that just means that people really like the show and they love what you do and they appreciate it. And fuck, you got to respect that, brother. You know what I mean?
Oh, I do, man. I tell you what, and not to sound like corny or nothing, but I could actually paint it. I was like, remember that fucking Katrina and the Waves song? I'm walking on sunshine. That was me today, like all fucking day and shit. Just thinking about this 100th episode and hanging out and all that shit, man. Today was a fucking good day, man. That song is funny because it actually like played in my head a couple of times as I was like stepping a little bit. I'm like, oh man, is it showing? Oh God, am I actually bobbing my head with it? Because I can hear it in my head. Yeah, it's been a pretty fucking good day
right now too, brother. But that's so dope because like thankfully when you reached out to me to do the episode and you just asked me a date, I only based it on the fact that my kids were leaving today and I would have some free time. I didn't realize it was going to be the 100th episode. So that's crazy to me. You know what I mean?
I'm good. I'm glad you made it, man. I'm glad you could make it tonight, man. It's an honor to have you on the 100.
I'm fucking stoked as shit that you fucking invited me on, man. That's dope. That's so cool.
I would have probably skipped a few steps in celebrating tonight if you wouldn't have come on. So I appreciate that. It's definitely going to make this episode a little bit more fun for sure. So let's rewind here and let's start the story. When was your first interaction with the cannabis plant? Do you remember? Do you want to share anyway? It sounds like you're a sharer. Do you want to share your first time?
Oh yeah, I'm completely open. My first time around cannabis or my first time using cannabis?
Whichever came first.
Oh, I grew up around cannabis. My grandfather, my mom, my dad, they all grew it. So the earliest I remember is probably like 4 years old.
Nice. No shame there. I'm in the same boat. I'm not ashamed to admit it. Proud these days. That means you're a second or third generation farmer. That's nothing but to be proud of.
Yeah. But
my book, for sure.
It was cool, at that age you don't really understand what's going on, but you're growing plants, but you're also growing potatoes and carrots and beans and other sorts of food and whatnot. And you just grow up around it and it just seems normal, and it should be, but my first time ever using cannabis, I want to say was probably around 12. And it actually didn't even come from my parents or my grandfather. It actually came from a skateboarder friend of mine because I grew up skateboarding too, and it was just full out swag. It was so bad. And funny story is that it probably took me 10 tries to roll a joint because I had never done it before. There was no YouTube. There was no, my parents weren't teaching me how to roll a joint. I was trying to be all secretive. I was outside at night hiding behind my dad's boat, trying to roll up joints and shit. And even though it was swag, I got a few hits off that. And I was like, okay, I get it. You know what I mean? Like I couldn't wait to wake up the next day and just do it all over again. It was crazy.
You cracked me up a little bit there when you said the YouTube, because I thought for a brief second, I was like, who would you, wait a minute. Somebody's probably YouTube that. I mean, back when we were rolling there, yeah, there was no YouTube. But nowadays, There probably is a YouTube video out there on how to roll a joint. There's a fucking video for everything else. So
I guarantee you there'd be thousands of them, man. Thousands of them. But it was so funny, like even, you know, growing up as a kid, I remember thinking like, you know, I'd wake up in the morning and I'm hungry. I make myself a bowl of cereal and, I go to make some toast and all the knives are black. And I'm like, Mom, why are the knives black? You know what I mean? It took a while for me to understand that they were hot knife and hash. You know what I mean? And I love that shit to this day. Like, I'll talk to Frenchie cannoli, and still my preferred method is like not super refined. It's just I'll just hot knife. You know what I mean? Like, go back to your roots, hot knife. Fuck it, it works.
That's
black
definitely
knives
tried
matter.
and true. That's
black knives matter. Black knives matter. No offense to anybody out there. I hope that don't hurt anyone's feelings, but that shit was fucking fun, man. That shit was fun. I look back on it. One thing my mom taught me was that we didn't get to talking about the medicinal aspect of cannabis yet because I was too young, but she always just told me it was the most beautiful flower you could ever grow. And I had to agree. I grew up around it. It was everywhere around me. It is. It's undeniably gorgeous, even if you don't like cannabis. It's undeniably gorgeous. Undeniably gorgeous.
Very true. Very true. It's funny that would be the first thing she told you, though, about it, that it is a beautiful flower, because it is. I mean, nothing else. It is a very beautiful flower. I know I raised my children to be pretty open with it. I figured that was the only way, you know what I mean? With the schools and everything, kind of trying to teach them bad stuff or misinformation. That's what I should say. Misinformation about it. I tried to keep it a little more real and forthright all the way through, because it was a medication that I've always treated it as medication one way, even when I didn't know it was recreational. I kind of do.
Yeah.
But for you, when was it that you actually started utilizing it as a medication for yourself?
Probably around age 16, 15 or 16, because I was not your average kid. I grew up a skateboarder too, and when you grow up a skateboarder, shout out to all the skateboarders out there, skateboarder for life, even though I can't skate no more. But you just tend to look at things in a different way, and you can see potential in different things. You look at a curb and it's painted red, and you're like, oh, that curb's gonna slide really good. It doesn't even need wax. You just look at things in a different way. And growing up a skateboarder, I started at age 7. You look at things completely differently. So that really opened my mind to like other aspects of it. Went into, my education. It went into everything. I hated school. So I didn't drop out. I took extra classes and graduated early. I was just understanding the world in a different way. I didn't know I had Asperger's until much later on in my life. I always attributed it to skateboarding. But I graduated just as I turned 16. And I was already, at that point, I was already basically spending a lot of time on PubMed. I was already studying through the Longevity Center of Natural Health to become a registered nutritional consultant practitioner. And I was just looking at compounds in nature that would help people out. And I just knew that this plant right away was like, it was right there. Everything was right there. All the studies were there. If you look beyond the boogeyman bullshit, it was all there, you know, so I pursued it, you know, and that's kind of how it went down.
Nice. I forgot where I was going to go with that. I had a question in the middle of it. Like, oh, for those for those of us that don't quite understand what Asperger's is, could you kind of elaborate a little bit?
It's kind of hard for me to explain. It's just if I'm interested in something, um, my brain functions on a different level. It almost doesn't shut down until I figure out a solution to a problem. And that's the best way for me to describe it. So there's a lot of kids that have Asperger's or autism that are nonverbal and things like that, and I'm not that way at all. It's just kind of I kind of refer to it as the madness. It's just like my brain just doesn't shut off. If I see a problem, I need a solution. If I can't stop till I figure out the solution. But I get with that being said, I get bored of certain things really easy because I tend to kind of perfect them, or at least what I deem to be perfection. And the things that attract me are the things that you can't conquer. So like I was attracted to skateboarding because you'll never master it. I was attracted to cannabinoids and cannabis because you'll never conquer it. You'll never fully understand everything about it. So I always have something to work with, you know, mentally. You know, whereas other aspects, other jobs I've done, other careers I've been in, you kind of reach like a plateau and then you just go, meh, this is boring to me. It's not what I want to do. You know what I mean?
I do know what you mean. I do know what you mean. That's for sure. Because I'm guilty of that myself, actually getting bored with stuff. And we've talked about this with people. Content. Content's a perfect example of that. You know, you can people we've learned to grow cannabis on. You know, through the years, people like Med Grower One, Subfool, and you know, at one point you ask them a question, and especially so. I've said it 1,500 times. Google it. You know what I mean? There's tons of papers out there, and it was refreshing, especially like in Med Grower One's case there to, you know, because in growing you can get that way. You know, I may not reach it because you've taken this plateau where I'm getting to there. You can grow and grow and grow, and this right here's been my side out, I guess, as far as the growing aspect goes. You can do this for quite a long time. You can speak of it, and then you can hit that plateau, and you can either be bored of it and turn it away, or you can, you know, try to raise the ceiling and try to find a new aspect of it to run with. And in his case, it was breeding. It sounds like you've taken up breeding, taking it to a notch, and then taking it to breeding. To me, instead of like taking it to breeding, I kind of went sideways talking about cannabis for a little while. And then maybe after I talk about it for a little while, maybe no, breeding will be down the road or something like that. But
Well, that's the beauty of it though, is that like, okay, you can go into breeding, but then you can also go back to just growing. And then there's so many strains, there's so many land races, there's so many polyhybrids, there's so many of this and that you can it keeps it fresh. You don't have to do the same thing every run. You know what I mean? When you're really doing what you love to do, whether it's for growing medicine or you want to make a small business out of it and be a craft grower, you can do whatever the fuck you want to do. Just because you breed, maybe you're a very successful breeder for 3-4 years, nothing is stopping you from just going back to growing or producing oils and medicine or getting into hash production or creating whatever you want, because New research is coming out all the time. New techniques are coming out all the time. New lighting systems are coming out all the time. We're learning more and more about the plant constantly. We're feeding off each other constantly. And you can just take all these different avenues, or you can just do all of them at once. You know what I mean? It's really up to the grower. You can do whatever you want. That's the beauty of it.
Right on. Yeah. It's just for me, I've been down many of those roads, many of them. I mean, me, myself, I've grown 200 plus strains. Been doing this for close to 20 years. Played with it for a while. So I did, I was starting to, at one point, it was just becoming close to a job before I started doing other things, talking about it a little bit more. It can be fun. I do the same. I'm an extract artist. I make hash. I take care of my patients. I'm the only one that runs this garden here. I'm fully carded to take care of 5 patients. So, I'm cleaning. I'm taking the clones. I'm, everything down the line. And, it's fun. And I guess I want to reiterate, I still loved it. You know what I mean? I still have the passion for it. But at some points, when it gets to that, it can be a little bit of a job. And some days, it's a little bit of a job. You know what I mean? Nevertheless, it's still some of the best parts of my day, because like I've been very vocal about is anytime I step into this room, it be in a good mood or in a not so good mood. This plant has very quickly changed my pace. You know what I mean? As soon as I get in there and stare at that plant for a few minutes, focus on what's going on, let my mind fade a little bit there. Stress from the day, whatever, usually tends to melt away within minutes of being around the plant.
Well, it's very therapeutic, and that reminds me, like I've talked to a lot of people that are, I've also worked in addiction studies too, and a lot of people that I know that have used cannabis to, kind of get over that hump of certain addictions and become growers. A lot of them said, like, oh, my addiction now has become my plants. My addiction now has become seeds. And I'm like, that's not your addiction. Pretty much anyone that grows cannabis is basically participating in therapy. I know it seems like an addiction, but it's not an addiction. Just like you said, you walk in there with a problem in your mind, right? You got a psychological issue, something that's bothering you that day, or maybe, fuck, I don't want to do this today. Fuck, I gotta water. I gotta fucking, I gotta clean up the plants, whatever it is. It seems like a hassle, but you get in there, you get into it, you're listening to music, or maybe you're not. And within minutes, you just feel good, you know? To me, I guess technically it would be an addiction, but it's a healthy addiction,
Oh, for sure. I just want to address Sharadi's question real quick in chat. They're asking me in particular, did it get boring, or it didn't feel right? It always has felt right. At just one point, I guess it felt like it was a little boring. Like I could be doing more. That's the only thing. It's, sometimes you just check yourself and wonder, is this all? You know what I mean? Am I doing more? Could I be doing more? You know what I mean? And there's, some days, it got to be a little bit boring, doing the same routine every day. Even though I loved what I was doing, there's times, I live up here way up north, and, there's times where I actually don't see nobody for a while. So the time with the gardens is nice, but it can be a little boring. It's nice to actually get out there and get the medicine out to the patients and see the happy faces. So there is some times in the in-between where it can be a little boring, but that's not the plant's fault. That's just my fault for making it boring, realistically.
Yeah, that's truth. That's truth. But you know, like you know, when you're making extracts and you're making oils and you're making medicines and whatnot, is there any better feeling than seeing someone that's suffering from illness, ailment, or disease recover or have lessened symptoms because of the medicine you make for them? That, to me, that's the best feeling in the world. You know, you can't put a price tag on that.
Oh man, there's times where the medicine isn't even included. Like I had a conversation. Well, he said he was gonna check out the show, and I don't know if he cares. I'm not using his last name, so it's pretty common name. So I'm pretty sure I could throw that out there. I was discussing with Mike today uh, about cannabis and the treatments for post-stress trauma disorder. I had to say it the long way like that. 'Cause when I just try to say the letters, I always mess it up. But when I was talking to him, again, no plant involved, but just talking about the plant in general, gardening and stuff, I could see, the medication already working. You know what I mean? The seed in his mind. Yeah, you know what I mean? And just in that aspect alone, just talking about the plant sometimes, uh, just getting that mind fire and can be medicine all in itself. Hope, I guess, is the word I'm looking for. Just talking about it can give hope, which is sometimes medicine all in itself.
I just had not even, I think, about a week ago, I had an older fellow over here that has Lyme's disease, and Lyme's disease is a horrible disease. It's like having rheumatoid arthritis in your entire body. Um, and he had told me, we had spoke over the phone. He told me what his issues were. He's an older gentleman, almost 70 years old. I told him I'd make him up some medicine, and he was a little bit scared of cannabis, even though it was just going to be a topical. But he asked me to make it a little bit on the weaker side. I said, I'll make it on the weaker side. That's fine. Every customer, every patient I work with, it's up to them, right? We work off that. But he sat here for about 45 minutes. He applied it to all the areas that hurt. Within 5 minutes, he was up and walking around and like almost, tears of joy. Like he had been suffering for years. And then just within 5 minutes, 10 minutes, he's no longer in pain. Now, did I cure him? No. But to offer him that relief and something that he can use on a daily basis to feel like that, that's an amazing thing, man. That's an amazing thing. And that makes me feel good. I call that selflessness. Like you're doing a selfish act technically because you're making yourself feel better by making somebody else feel better. You know what I mean? It's a psychology thing.
Right. I agree with that. And moreover, I think to say, did you heal him? No. Did you give him back quality of life? Yes.
Yeah.
I think that's quick to point out there. It might be relief, but moreover, quality of life. Because if you're not hurting, you can get back to enjoying life. That's for sure. Even if it's,
Well, and then you have that. You kind of have that domino effect too, though, that you actually, okay, so say this person can hardly move, right? So now you apply the medicine and it gives relief. Now this person can get up and move around. They're not in such an inflammatory state that their appetite comes back. So they're eating better food. They're getting their appetite back. They can move around and exercise. That's stimulating the immune system, and they're getting out and being happy, which is a huge thing mentally, right? So it's not just like, okay, now this guy can get up and walk. You're actually really improving that person's life in a, with the immune system function and their day to day, what they can do. Like, and maybe one day we'll get to the point where that actually will cure that disease. You know what I mean? There's so many other benefits that they just kind of, it's like a ball that just keeps rolling. You know what I mean? If you can end that inflammation, you can end that depression, you can end that pain, you can increase hunger. Now there's better nutrition. Now there's better healing mechanisms in the body. It just steamrolls with one thing after another. So you're not just providing one little simple, okay, now my arm doesn't hurt. That's great. It's great your arm doesn't hurt. But the after effects of this are where the real benefits come in. The real benefits come in, like with continued use.
I love hearing them stories too of the first time that cannabis has helped somebody. It never gets any less satisfying. I don't even have to be a part of that story to not take some good feeling away from it. You know what I mean?
Wow. It's part of why we do what we do. Like, and that's why I love like so many people in the community that I see them helping others in their local areas and whatnot. And I mean, that's why we call this cannabis community, right? And our Canafam. I mean, that speaks volumes. I mean, it sounds kind of corny, but it really is. Like when I see one of my friends helping somebody else, I get that smile too. And I'm like, hey, that's one person I couldn't reach, but my friend got it. You know what I mean? My friend helped out. And that's something really special about this community. And even in, shout out to the psychedelic community too, because, those psilocybin heads, man, they got it down too, man. They're fucking, they got it on lock too, brother. You know, it's just cool to see, man. You can't help but feel good about it.
Feeling pretty good about it right now. So feeling pretty good about it right now as far as I go. I was going to say that a minute ago, just nonchalantly, like the train has left the building.
I know. I'm just going to be honest. I'm high as fuck right now, but it's all good.
Nothing wrong with that. It's fucking, it's what the show's about. I hope everybody else is indulging along just as hard, just as well. God darn it, it's 100. I see all these congratulations in chat. Happy 100. Hopefully they're celebrating just as hard.
I hope
for sure.
So, I hope so. Just to reiterate, that's kind of for all the new viewers and stuff. We're both taking some psychedelics, so and getting the cannabinoids in the system. So for the 100th episode, we're doing it proper, brother. That's awesome.
Diving deep on this episode.
Diving deep. I had to laugh when I told Kineo I was gonna dose up tonight. He just laughed and said, "You're crazy, man. I don't think I could handle that." And I was like, maybe I can't handle it either, but I guess we'll find out.
Some of the better episodes have been this way. Only one time, I'll tell you this right now. Only one time has I had it. It was weird too. Because it was on the Michigan Bros Grow Show. I forget exactly what episode it was, but I indulged before the show. And a great episode. I participated the whole way through. Very good on my end. But then something happened, like during the sign outs. They like to go around the boxes and shit. And, as it came to me, I could just see it coming at me like that red eye I'm looking at, that camera right now, was just like a little train coming at me. And I was like, no, no, no. Just as they were getting ready to kick it over to me, I'm like, fuck this, I'm out of here. Click. Totally just left the building. And they were like, oh, okay, I guess the Eagle's done tonight. I was like, yeah, you ain't getting me tonight.
You went out with style, though, man. You went out with style. That's the only way to think about it, man. It's hilarious. That's hilarious. Yeah, I don't even know. I'm starting to get to that point right now, too, where I'm like looking at the camera and I'm like, yeah. I'm feeling pretty golden.
Don't look at the.
I'm feeling pretty.
Don't look at the camera.
Can you want to do me a favor? See if you can take a question or two. I'm just gonna go wet my hair down really quick because I'm getting pretty warm.
Yeah, no problem, man. No problem. I'll give some shout outs to Chad. I'd love that opportunity. The American one, yes, that was the Tanazi episode. 100%. Cameron, Kazoo, 420, Smoke and Grow, Frazier, Johnny Caniseed, Jeff Drowski. How you guys doing tonight? The Major General 420 Army, thank you so much for tuning in on this special episode. What are you drinking there, Brad? It looks sugary. It is a little sugary. It is some peach tea. It isn't Coke, though. It isn't Major. I'll give you credit on that. I have not had a Coke since I told you I would not drink a Coke. In fact, your little nudges on the drinking Coke thing also nudged Chris Mertz, who I don't think I've seen in chat tonight, to quit drinking Coca-Cola as well. So, yay. Thank you, sir. A little sugary, but not Coca-Cola. Dirt Road Dude. Chica B is in the house, one of the fellow Green Witches. Talk about doing some great things with Cannabis. That's pretty cool. Josh Larox. No, I'm sorry, Josh. I just butchered your last name. Thank you so much for hanging out and joining the show tonight. DOA Ground Meds, Aldridge 25, Trey Valone, Robert Hazelton. Love all the great people in chat. Thank you guys so much for hanging out tonight. Laid Back Farmer 420, Shrate, all the way, congrats, all the way from Germany. Check that out. That's pretty awesome. Zeb Zeppelin, pretty freaking awesome, man. Modern Genetics, Buddha Boy. Pretty cool you guys are able to tune in tonight. Holy shit, 69 people watching right now. A little unbelievable. I hate it when that little arrow tells me to go down like there's more comments, but there's no more comments. Jeez. That's funny, American one. I would say good. I would say good to that question. Today was an excellent day. Just thinking about today was overall off the top, man. It was Prometheus Soil. Hey, what's going on? Genetics. Genesis Cruise. Get it out there. OG Smoking. Hell yeah. Thank you for tuning in, guys. Appreciate it. It was Kazoo talking about the muscles. Yeah. Yes, I figured why not. I was thinking about it anyways, but it didn't take much coaching. That is for sure. Damn this butt. Fucking mouse just not playing. I gotta do pop out chat. I gotta pop the chat out. Otherwise, it's gonna keep fucking with me. Fucking with me. There we go. I can't scroll down that page. Boom. Done. So who we got here? Chris Mertz. There he is. I knew you wouldn't leave me out. I would. I knew you were there. See, General? You didn't help but one. You helped two. With that little nudge. That shit's poison. Doing some late night bong rips. Hell yeah. That's what this show's for. Late night bong rips. And hanging out with cool people. For sure. For sure. Who else? That's funny, pal.
Oh man, sorry about that. Sorry about that, people. That water feels amazing right now. It's like a little
No
slice.
worries. I think a lot of us can relate. Tao or the American one was like, I hope he didn't get lost in the mirror because that's easy to do right about now.
I almost got lost in the bank, man. It's just like flood myself with life water, bro. Just feels amazing. Also, I got to tell you too, though, just so everyone out there understands, it's hot as fuck here right now. Like it's been between 105 and 108 degrees for a week straight. So, like,
Can you say where you are?
yeah, I'm in Northwestern.
Are you in the red?
Northwestern Ontario,
Nice.
Canada. And that's why you'll see me
if that accent didn't say Canada, I didn't know what did, but I didn't want to be that guy to be like, obviously you're from Canada, eh?
I was actually born in Minnesota. I never lived there. I have family from there, but most people notice that as the Minnesota accent, and I never even realized I had that accent until I heard myself on a camera. I don't notice it myself, but when other people or when I review a video or whatever, I'm like, holy shit, man, my accent's horrible. I might as well be eating candy bars on top of the rooftops with a soda pop. And like, my accent's bad, man. It's that Minnesota accent. That's not Canadian.
That's funny because, no, it says Canada all over it to me. The next time in fact, I'm going to start fucking with Canadian people. Next time I hear it, I'm going to be like, Minnesota, huh? They're going to be like, where the fuck are you high? No, Canada. I'm going to be like, so Minnesota, though. Man, you sure? Got relatives?
No word of a lie. If the current wasn't so strong, I could literally just swim across the river and be in Minnesota. It's like 700 yards from Ontario, where I am. So it's like literally.
I guess I could see how it could blend a little bit, I guess.
No, it's totally different. It's totally different. If you cross the border, you get my accent. Nobody where I live talks like me at all. It's hilarious. It's hilarious. It's
I swear to God, I'm gonna get Boom. I could get Boom Farms right now in here, and you guys, it would be so similar. I mean, seriously. I'm gonna start asking. I'm gonna ask Boom when he gets here. I'm gonna be like, Minnesota. He's gonna be like, shut up.
Is he from Canada?
Yeah. I believe he's from Ontario up that way.
Oh,
yeah,
well,
for sure.
Maybe then. I don't fucking know. But you cross that border, and there's a very distinct shift in accents. It's so funny because we're so close.
It's not necessarily a bad thing, though. I mean, they say it's a sign of respect, to be honest with you. Seriously, you ever had a good conversation with somebody and they have a bit of an accent or something. Even it could be like Southern, for example. And then like maybe deep into the conversation, you find yourself using just a hair of a little bit of Southern slang or something. Just not even without even thinking about it. You know what I mean? You just kind of do it. I don't even know why you do it, but I catch myself doing it from time to
Yeah,
time.
it's a little mental. It's a little mental trigger. You know what I? That's just how it is. But it is cool that you recognize that because it does definitely happen. It does definitely happen. You know, when I talked to, you know, you brought up a perfect example. When I talk to some of my friends from down south in the States, I start saying shit I would never normally say. Never. You know, it's just, yeah, you catch it. You catch it, and you're like, all of a sudden, I'm from Louisiana. You know,
For
just,
real. For real. You have started a lifetime running joke that you just never, you're never going to be around to enjoy it. I'm just going to have so much fun with that every time I run into somebody with a Canadian accent.
oh, fucking
Minnesota?
run with it, man. The one
I'm
thing,
nuts.
the one thing that's cool with Canadians is that, well, I can't say this across the board, but like most of us are so chill. Like Canadians are so chill. Whether you're in the cannabis community or not, people are just really respectful and chill, and it's kind of, I don't know. It kind of reminds me of like, you know, when I went to Italy when I was younger. Like everyone was so respectful, and there was just no drama. You know, there was just people were very thoughtful and mindful of what other people were saying and thinking, and you never ever wanted to hurt anyone's feelings. But at the same time, it's weird to say that because then you get the other aspect of it where people think like, oh, Canada's full of hockey. Yeah, we grow up playing hockey, so we'll also beat your ass. But you know, like Canadians know how to fight like a motherfucker. We learn when we're kids. You know what I mean? But we're still super respectful and super, you know, like just try not to bring any drama around, and hopefully you don't get beat down from some kid that was 4 years old learning how to play hockey, and by the age of 6 he was already in hockey fights. You know what I mean? But so yeah, the kindness is definitely not a weakness up here. You know what I mean? Oh shit. I can't hear.
That was me. That
Okay.
was me. I'm mic'd off. That was totally my bad.
No
I just
worries.
want to be quick to point out there that I did answer your question. That threw me right the fuck off altogether there. My bad. I do that a lot to kind of be respectful. Case when we were talking there, I tried to avoid that cutting in. So sometimes I'll mic off, just help relieve that a little bit.
Okay.
There's times I don't realize I'm mic'd off and shit. I'm like, oh shit. I bet you there's at least once per show where they go, yeah, your mic. Sorry about that.
That's all I could do is point at my big ass ears. And like, can't hear you, bro. Can't hear you, bro. But yeah.
So I
So
just wanted to be quick to point out that Endo, we'll call it, just shorten it down. Endopharm1 is for way they can find you on Instagram. But if you tag him, he can't see. He's not watching chat. So if you will tag us both, or at least just me, if you have a question for him. They're asking the first question they want to know is, do you have dual citizenship? Is the first question that came up.
yes, I do have dual citizenship. The only caveat to that is that I cannot vote in either country, or I have picked a side. So yes, I do have dual citizenship. I can actually tell a funny story about that. I almost got arrested over having dual citizenship when I was younger, but I don't know if you want me to tell that story or not. But
Hell yeah, go ahead. Yeah, you got plenty of
so
time. Venture down that story.
so my grandma on my mom's side used to be a customs worker uh, at the U.S. border, right? She worked there for like 40 years. So when I graduated high school at 16, I had to get a couple of jobs, and all I could find was in the United States. So I used to bike through the border every day and work 2 or 3 different jobs in the United States. And because customs knew my grandma so well, they used to just wave me through, right? They wouldn't even stop me. I'd just be on a bike, the 16-year-old kid going to work. I would just make sure they seen me. They would flag me through. And then one day I was going through and they ran out with, I think it was 2 guys ran out with guns. And I was like, whoa, what the, they were yelling at me to stop, 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 stop. And I was like, whoa, what the fuck, like, okay, what's up, And then they came over and they pulled me inside, and you go inside this fucking custom station and it's fucking crazy. They got a picture of the president and all that shit on there. And you're like, holy fuck, man, I'm just a kid. I got guns drawn on me. But I was still a bit of a smartass at that age. And they said, you're a citizen of what country? And I said, I'm a dual citizen. They said, there's no such thing as a dual, or the one fella said, there's no such thing as a dual citizen. And I said, yeah, there is. I was born in Minnesota and I was raised in Canada. I'm a dual citizen. I have a social security number, and I also have, what's the American version? I forget. I have both of them anyway. But, and he was like, no, there's no such thing as a dual citizenship. You need to pick a country. And my smart ass said, well, I guess I'm American right now and I'm Canadian coming back. They did not fucking like that. They did not fucking like that. They held me up in customs for like 8 fucking hours. Just for nothing. Just a smart ass remark to a dumbass question. But in retrospect, I found it funny anyway. It's like,
I find it kind of funny. It's a good answer to a good question that you asked me. Yeah.
What's that?
But it's kind of a bummer they did. I said, I think it's a good answer to a question. That's perfectly logical, really. I can't believe they had such a hard time with it.
Well, they started, it was, they started my grandma was retired by that time, and they started cycling in new border patrol agents. So it wasn't the guy that had stopped me was not the normal person that would normally be there, right? So, but at that time I had no way of knowing it. I just went up, I just did the same thing I would do every day when I went to work. I had no knowledge of, now all of a sudden I have to go in and report and show ID and stuff, because I was riding my bike over every day. They know I'm just going to work. You know what I mean? But it was definitely a crazy experience, though.
Oh, for sure.
But
things have changed so much since then. I mean, could you even? Seems like that trip today you'd probably have to add a lot of time onto that trip, even though, like, say your grandma worked on one end. It seemed like just the way customs are now. That
Dude, at this customs, you can Google it or whatever. International Falls. It's from the sky. It looks like a big American flag. If I would ride my bike through that customs today, I would have got shot. Zero questions about it. Zero questions about it. They would have shot me dead on the fucking spot. Like
Crazy.
well, and with drug trade, right? Because we're so close. We're so close. This is a huge drug area. It's so easy to transport drugs from Canada to the US or vice versa that the border patrol is fucking very serious here. Very serious.
Yeah,
It's not what it was when I was a kid, that's for sure.
Times have definitely changed. And again, the way you say it like that, I mean, somebody just cruising along on a bike, yeah, you can maybe see somebody maybe trying to make, I can see how that could be misconstrued nowadays, with that being said.
Oh fuck! Nowadays, there's like you gotta if you go through the border, you actually have to drive through a fucking you have to drive through a garage that fucking takes an image of your vehicle. Like it's fucking crazy. Back in the day, you could just, hey, what's up, Steve? Yeah, just heading over for a bit. All right, go through Rick. You know what I mean? Fuck, whatever. No big deal. Now you got to go through this fucking 3D machine thing and fucking takes pictures of your vehicle and all the contents on board and shit. It's just crazy. Actually for about 10 years, I didn't even visit family over there because the border became such a hassle, unfortunately. It was like, I don't want to deal with that shit.
It sucks when you say it's so close too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Instead of if you can ride a bike across there, it can't be. It sucks that it has to be that big of a hassle.
Oh, dude, there was literally like on my mom's side, they had a family reunion, and I was literally waving at them from the other side of the river. As they're telling me like, you should come over, and I'm like, I probably can't even get over there right now because the customs, like that little incident I explained to you, now you're flagged. So now you get pulled in every time. It goes into the fucking computer system and it's like, I don't want to do this. I'm going to try to cross the border to go visit family and it's going to take 2, 3, 4 hours. I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Fuck this shit.
Sounds like it'd almost be easier for them to come to you.
Yeah, just wait till winter and I'll drive my fucking skidoo across the river.
There you go. There you go.
Fucking that's real tough. But then I'll probably get shot for that too. Then they'll definitely think I'm running drugs or something. Yeah, that's crazy though. It's crazy though. I got a question for you though, bro. Who was like in modern times, who's been a big inspiration to you growing, breeding, anything like that? That's something I always like to hear from people.
Well, of course, I would say, Sub was a huge inspiration for me, but he wasn't the initial inspiration. But later on, he definitely was. I admired what he did. The thing I admired most about Sub and his was his fire, was the passion for the plant. Again, I was already growing at that time, but I appreciated his passion for the plant because not only was he was obviously selling a product, you know what I mean? He was obviously selling seeds, but I also knew he was helping people, teaching people to grow. But the thing, what made me admire him was the fact that he was walking the walk and he was talking the talk. You know what I mean? Everybody else around that time, it was just pictures in a book. You could buy these strains. You know what I mean? Even the people that were selling strains and were openly talking about it or making videos weren't doing what he was doing. I mean, he was actually, you know, taking you in the room and showing you the strains. And, you know, I can fucking 6-foot plants, shaking them, you know, monsters and shit. You know, he's like, you know, so he was giving you a definite example of what you could do with those genetics, which is something I thought really cool. So I kind of clung behind him for quite a few years, and I appreciated the community he was building, and same thing here, and what he was giving back, you know, which I thought was really cool. The way he always gave people free seeds. That's the other thing I admired about him, you know, and he understood and appreciated the more people that grew, the harder it was going to be to put this cat back in the bag. And I agree too. And that's, you know, one of the other reasons that kind of ignited my passion on teaching people to grow and whatnot, you know, inspiring them to grow. And it actually got deeper, further yet, years down the road. Yeah, I mean, after initially seeing him there a little bit, he actually contacted me and asked me to be one of his testers. So I got to know. It was weird. It was so weird, to be honest with you. I remember it very, you know, vividly, to be honest with you. And it's probably not just the mushroom, but it was it was Christmas. It was right before Christmas and shit. And I'll get this message from him, and it's like, hey man, you know, this is sub. Like I fucking didn't know and shit. Man, that's fucking cool. You want to test my gear and shit, man? I love all the pictures you posted and shit. And I replied back. I was like, this is like a fucking Christmas present. Are you fucking kidding me? You know what I mean? Are you fucking kidding me right now? This is the fucking Christmas present, man. This is a fucking honor. And so yeah, it kind of went on from there. But he furthered and inspired me more, you know, watching him give away the seeds. And, you know, it was funny because he actually, he would sit there in some shows and he would like practice throwing packs. Like ninja stars and shit. He's like, that's how much I love to give these fuckers away, man. I just like to keep a pack in my pocket and be like, bam, there you go, pack of seeds for you. And I thought that was fucking cool as fuck. And then when he kind of gave me a little bit of power, if you will. You know what I mean? He, after years of testing and whatnot, he had a little bit of trouble in Michigan here. And he's like, why aren't you a fucking rep? How come you're not a rep? And I'm like, because at that point, I had actually run more strains of his than he had. And I was like, yeah, why ain't I a fucking rep? So I kind of took it on, and what that did for me, you know, I knew it was going to be a good experience, but it took me down such a whole new road. It gave me a taste of what the mentor had been going through a little bit. He let me in. He let me in. And he let me in. He let me in. He let me fucking be a part of what he was doing. And moreover, and that was dealing with people, and as far as selling seeds and putting seeds in hand. And even more so, he helped me give me seeds to give out. So I had that power, I guess. If you know, I always had free seeds that I could give away. You know, and there was no stipulation. You know what I mean? And so, much like he did, I started pocketing seeds all the fucking time. and passing them along to people I met, you know what I mean? Especially if they had a story, you know what I mean? I love talking about cannabis. So I get talking to somebody, and especially somebody that actually needed it, you know what I mean? Like Mike, the gentleman I was talking to today. Man, I so wish I had a pack. The whole time he's sitting there, I'm talking to him, I'm like thinking, man, I wish I had a fucking some seeds with me to give this guy. But I didn't. And he, that was some of the best feelings right there is when you can talk up a medicine like that and then slide him a pack, and like it's like that moment, it's like set yourself free, brother. You know what I mean? Here it is, you know, it's the fucking the ticket, it's the keys to the kingdom right here. And so with all that being said, yeah, he was very much a mentor to me. I mean, maybe not for the more reasons of yeah, he did show me some shit in growing and taught me a little bit of stuff about breeding. Was he probably the best breeder in the world? Maybe not, but very knowledgeable and an amazing guy. Fuck yeah, fuck yeah. So that in the cannabis community, yeah, I mean that's what you mainly pointed after. Uh, yeah, that'd probably be one of my top mentors with yourself for sure. A mentor and a friend. He started off as a mentor, but I was one of the lucky people that you know I could honestly call him a friend in the end. There, we were actually really good friends, and I always made sure to tell him that you know I always made sure and give him thanks. I always told him, you know, you could never give me a fucking another pack of seeds, brother, and I would still treat you like the same fucking person. You know, even in the beginning when he started giving me seeds to be a tester, you know, I wanted to make it very clear to him that wasn't the fucking reason I was hanging out. You know, I always told him I appreciate this, but know this, brother, you can stop giving me fucking beans right now, and I'm still gonna call you every day. You know, I'm still gonna be your fucking friend. This isn't why I'm fucking hanging out. That's for damn sure.
For
Yeah.
sure, bro. That's fuck. That's badass. I know a lot of people. Not to take away from anything, but there's a lot of people that have bad things to say about sub. I don't. I didn't personally know him, but like to me, it was heartbreaking watching him go. I know he was a huge pioneer for the community, and he did a lot of fucking beautiful things, brother. Beautiful things. So that's really cool that you were able to reach that level with them and have that brotherhood, and I didn't expect that as an answer. Sorry to turn into the interviewer, but I just love to hear those stories of like, because it's touching, like it's something that every single time I ask somebody like who were you inspired by, who did, it's almost always a real personal connection, and you get a real personal answer, and you can feel it. That's really cool. Big
You know,
pioneer.
and it's really weird that you asked me that question tonight because I was so on the. I really wanted to dedicate this show. I wanted to dedicate this show right off the bat to him, but I was on the fence about, and I'm still on the fence. You know, I loved the man dearly. He was a good friend, but at some point, I feel like. I feel like trying to phrase this right. I want to honor his memory, but I don't want to. I don't want people to think that I'm trying to cling to it and use it as a source of fame. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
you know. So that's why I didn't, to be honest with you. And it's foolishly I should have. You know, I foolishly I didn't. I should say because you know, and like I said, it was a great time to answer that question because it's very true. You know, and in some aspects, I did take off with this show in memory of him, and you know, this is basically kind of his format, you know, it's talking with chat, talking with the weed nerds, making them a part of it. You know, it's kind of been supersized a little bit with the nightly guests, but definitely, you know, contributed to him in a lot of ways, that's for sure. And it was a huge way of dealing with his passing, to be honest with you, man, because it was really tough for me, because even as I sit here right now, I've got tons of posters of that he sent me. You know, a case full of seeds he sent. You know, surrounded by his gear. You know, I've got tons of dank shit he gave me, and you know, it was really hard to sit in a garden thinking about my mentor and being surrounded by like all this great shit he had helped me. He helped me do, and he opened a lot of doors for me. And I'm not afraid to say that. I mean, people have asked quite often how the fuck I've been able to pull in some of the people that I've pulled in through these 100 days as fast as I have. And without no doubt, it's been because of the doors he's helped me open, for sure. You know, I built my own creds, you know, as a grower up till meeting him, but meeting him and having Sub in my life definitely supercharged my persona in the cannabis industry, for sure. I mean, he was always very quick to bring me up in interviews, chats. Anytime I was in chat, he was always quick to, you know, hey, Eagle Gardens, you know what I mean? Which it ultimately brought me to here, because, you know, people fucking still remember who the fuck Eagle Gardens is, you know, mainly because of those days. I get respect because they've heard the name fucking for 10 fucking years from Sub, you know, saying it. And so, yeah, I owe tons and tons of thanks to that man. And I really did want to fucking put his name out there. But again, I feel like if I continue to put it out there, then I feel like I'm almost abusing the privilege of knowing it. And in my book, it would start to taint the memory.
Yeah, you can definitely tell we're on psilocybin, but no, that's a beautiful story, brother. I love hearing that. And rest in peace, Sub. That's cool. And don't ever think, bruh, that it's coming off that way, like you're riding a coattail or something. It doesn't come off that way at all. It doesn't come off that way at all. And like I've had my mentors too, and people that I love and respect, and people that have done the same thing for me. You know what I mean? I would never be where I'm at either without those people. You know, I'd be doing good locally, but not anywhere else. And but you know, he was a pioneer. He was definitely a pioneer, man. I actually remember watching his last live and being like, "Fuck." You know, the day after, like, it was hard, man. That's hard. I don't mean to
I
bring up.
actually have actually, this phone right here is this is a $200 or better memory of Sub. This phone right here isn't even in service anymore, but so many great texts are on this phone.
That's awesome, man. But see, you're paying homage. Like you can see this. I'll take this off really quick, but this is a 24 karat gold watch that doesn't even work. But it was my grandpa's 40th year working for Abitibi, and he retired. And they gifted him that watch as part of his retirement. He passed away probably about, well, I guess 9 years ago. And I still wear this watch every day, even though it doesn't work. So
That's pretty awesome right there, brother.
So it's super cool that you keep that phone too, man. Shed a tear, that's just healing, brother. That's just healing. You know what I mean? But damn, that was a loaded question. I didn't expect to get that as an answer, bro. You kind of blew me away there. You know, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I'm sure, like you said, I'm sure the mushrooms help take me down that road a little deeper than meant to be there for sure, brother. But yeah, I guess still some shit there, I guess.
Yeah. Maybe that's why I asked that question. I don't know. Mushrooms tend to do that. But yeah,
very true.
I had a lot of local growers, you know, like my parents. I had a lot of local growers that were big inspirations to me. Like shout out to the OGs that fucking risked their life around this plant. And then I didn't even really know about Instagram and shit like that. Like once Instagram came around, that like turned shit up for me. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, we did the forums back in the day. You know what I mean? But it was totally different than Instagram. And once Instagram came around, I met some really fucking cool people on there that were like, that almost instantly became some of my best friends. You know what I mean? So I get genetics from some dudes that like in my little circle, I don't mess around with too many people. But my little circle of friends is like, fuck man, they're my fucking family. You know what I mean? Like I love those dudes like Mantis Genetics and Seattle Chronic Seeds and More Love Farms. Like I just Kinneo's Genetics. Like me and Kinneo talk probably every day. You know, like these are friends of mine. You know what I mean? I love them to death. You know, like Instagram's kind of a pain in the ass, but it's provided us a tool of like really reaching out and helping a lot of people. And just like you said, Sub would do, like throwing out seeds. You know, I was talking to Professor P from Dynasty yesterday, and I just did one thing that I love to do in a live. I just said, "Hey P, if you throw up a pack of your genetics, I'll throw in 5 and we'll do a giveaway. Someone pick a number." You know what I mean? And that's what I thought of when you said Sub was just throwing packs. You know what I mean? It's like, we got packs, let's share the love, you know? Some people can afford it, some people can't, but it's always cool to just do something cool to show that you appreciate the support, you appreciate the plant, you appreciate people's lives and value their lives and want to help teach them to grow, or they already know how to grow, but it's just like, hey man, I think just check this out. You know what I mean? And a lot of times people, I think, view it as maybe some people that aren't really in the know view it more as like an advertising gig. And a lot of the times it's not an advertising gig. This is just us. Like if I met you in person, I would do the same thing. No one would see it, but I'd still do it. You know, for 23 years. Funny thing is, like, you know, I just recently got divorced, right? Like within the last 8 or 10 months or something like that. I don't know. I'm not really cognizant of time or space right now. But I never sold cannabis or sold seeds in my life up until that point. But it really was what I had to do to survive at that time. You know what I mean? It was like, I got 7 kids, man. I got to do something here. I got 7 kids, a broken leg, all sorts of issues. I gotta do something, you know. And shout out to all the homies. You guys know who you are. Like they came through in the clutch and made sure I was taken care of, made sure my kids were taken care of, and that's the thing you got to love about the cannabis community is that there you really do form like solid relationships and bonds and brotherhood, and you just feel it. You just feel it, you know? Like it really is an amazing thing, man. This plant really does unite people, and psychedelics too. Uh, you know, they're really amazing things. Like, look at it. We've never actually formally talked before, and look at how good of a talk we're having. You know what I mean? Just like I feel like I've known you for years. You're just telling me things that I didn't know about you.
It's definitely been an easy way to talk to you. That's for sure. I knew earlier on, right when I started talking to you, I was like, oh, this is gonna be a good episode right here. I could just feel the genuine connection. Oh yeah, maybe it was the mushrooms, maybe it wasn't. either way,
Yeah.
felt like it was gonna be a good one.
I don't know how you're feeling, bro, but I'm hot. These are
It's a little warm here tonight. I'm a little shiny.
I am definitely tripping hard. I'm trying to put on sandals, but I'm in the living room. I don't know what the fuck is going on, but it's fun. It's fun.
Jack's actually trying to work his way to 100 long hits. I think the last time I checked, he was in his 30s.
Who's trying to?
Jack Screenstock.
Damn. Shout out to him. 30 hits.
That's commitment.
That is commitment. That's full on commitment. He's going to wake up tomorrow at like
40
o'clock
40 puffs deep.
40 puffs deep now? Damn. That's dope, dude. Keep it going. If you got 40 puffs, then you're definitely alone, so you don't have to worry about the puff path. And then
light it up again, Tim said. I'm sorry. Light it up again, Tim said it was frequency that we're feeling. That's another thing we've been talking about a little bit lately. It's connections with frequency and stuff like that. Crystals.
Well, you know, I'm a firm believer in like, if you put out good vibes, you're gonna attract good people. And you know, just like ayahuasca and like compounds like telepathinine and stuff like that.
Well, ultimately, what is a vibe? It's a frequency. You know, we call it a vibe, but it's, you know, a frequency. Ultimately, when you break it down.
Yeah, for sure. But you know, like some of these compounds, and I'm just speaking specifically about mushrooms right now, but they really can put you in tune with another person's vibe. But that can also be done without mushrooms when you're just putting out that positive vibe anyway. That's why I try really to keep negativity out of my life. And I think that's why a lot of growers and newbies or whatever you want to call them, a lot of people put trust in me is just because you put positive vibes out there. They're gonna trust you. And that's just the way it goes, you know? Like I don't want to be friends with some dude that comes off as a dickhead right off the bat, you know what I mean? But when someone shakes my hand and they're like, "Hey, nice to meet you. How you doing?" Just that little interactions, like that's probably someone I want to know. You know, so that's how I try to treat people, whether it's in person or on the internet.
That was a good one, Jack. Well placed. Well placed. Jack says, I'm feeling frequency. The frequency of these bong rips I'm taking. Well placed, brother. Well placed.
Oh, fuck. Oh, I'm so hot. Oh, my God.
Uh,
Yeah. It's not, I'm not even talking about it just being hot in here. It's just, that's definitely psilocybin hot.
yeah.
Yeah,
You
like,
take you want to go take a step outside and wash off again?
yeah, actually,
Shake
I
it
will.
off.
Yeah, do some shout outs real quick, and then I'm just going to go rinse my hair down again. I'm just hot, bro. Maybe I'll grab a towel.
No
And,
worries. There you go. Get
yeah, but
comfortable, man. Get comfortable. I got this. I got this, man. It's 100. I've done this. Go
woo!
ahead, man. Take your break. 420, 420 kazoo. Johnny Cannaseed. What up? Grokoski. Nice to see you in chat. Hating life. Mystic Marks. How you doing? Hope you guys are all enjoying the show tonight. I know I am. Light it up again, Tim. Welcome. Welcome. Devin Shipwreck. What's up, my man? Hope you guys are enjoying the show. I've had a great day. Page Farms. What's up? That's a new name. I don't remember seeing that one. Holy cow. 81 great folks watching and participating. I hope all 81 are participating in chat, though I recognize these names that I see every day in chat. But yeah. So where are we at? 124. 124. So yeah, let's do this. Hold on, let me perfect 100 episode. I haven't forget the soundbite thing, by the way. The soundbite thing we've decided as a family, as the Eagle family. Well, it's good. I'm gonna put it out on the 4th of July. I'm gonna put that thing out on the 4th of July. Just upload it to YouTube. You guys can smoke and watch it at your leisure, and then maybe we could talk about it and later that night on the 4th of July. Yeah. Oh, I was getting my book ready. I was getting my book ready for the first giveaway of the night. I got my pen. I need to go back, take this pretty clip off this book. Sorry about that little sub breakdown, but I guess things work out that way sometimes. Candy Forest Farm, how you doing tonight? Oh man, I hope from all the way from Australia. Check that out, Florida Nugs, Smiley's Gardens. That one, Smiley just made me smile. How you doing, brother? The Weedus 207 Blake. How you doing, brother? I stopped into the store yesterday. You weren't there, man. The first place. I left some stickers. I left some slaps at your store at Indoor Growers Edge. No, like hell, I left them at the other place too, but I won't bring them up. Green Mountain Grower, how you doing? All right, let's back to the giveaway. How many we got? 84. Holy fuck, we're gonna have to do this from 0 to 300. One guess only, please. If you see that your guess has already been guessed, then please re-guess. But first little giveaway is some grow glasses for some LED spectrum for LED lights. Grow glasses keep you from going blind in your grow. All right, just for Smiley. I gotta get my dad stuff ready and the song. But hold on, that won't take long. This will go fast. I almost said my bread. I almost told myself my password, like right online. Ah, hey, you're not live on TV. This is your password. I am having an amazing night, Josh. Thank you so much for being a part of it. That's for sure. Why not? Why not? Oh man, it's hard to keep up with the chat, so I tried to post that. Oh, that's wild. That's wild. All right. Why did I bring up Audible? Am I gonna read you guys books? I'm gonna read you guys some books. There we go. There we go. Got the damn song ready. Welcome to intermission. Hold on. That time though, I gotta get my torch. My dab. All right. What the fuck? Here we go. I think I got all the pieces to the puzzle. Not yet. Don't start bidding yet. Not till I say start. Not till I say start. Woo! Not till I say start. We have multiple things going on right now, and multiple things going on. First,
What I miss out on?
we're getting ready to take a dab. First, we're getting ready to take a dab, and then secondly, we're gonna do a giveaway. But first, this is the dab song. This is our. Wrong room. Thank you, Smiley, for that dab break. I think everybody will thank you for that.
That's a dope track, dude. I was feeling that. It kind of reminded me of like Herb Albert and the Tijuana Brass or something.
Yeah. All right. You can verify for me. You should be able to see chat at some point. I'm going to send you a number. We're doing a giveaway. There's 87 people in chat right now. But you can't see chat, but you can announce the number. So I'm going to, in chat here, I'm going to give you a number. Let me think of it right quick. And it will pop up on your side here in a second. What's a good number? They'd expect that number. They'd expect that number.
I got a number up here. I'm going to see if I can match your number.
I keep leaning towards this number, but I don't know if it's your number. But this is
It's probably not.
the one that probably not. But it's worth a try, right? Did you just see a little something pop up in chat there? It should say you see got a message in chat or something like that. Maybe touch your screen. You'll see like a little window lit up that says chat.
No, I don't see nothing there.
That's okay.
Okay. Yeah, I seen it.
Was that it?
No.
How close was it to yours?
It was
Not
very
even?
close. No, it was very close. It was very close. I was off by 2.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I gotta just make it a note here in my what that number for and what this contest for. All right, guys. You guys got 1 to 300. You gotta get one guess. Let me get this, get it ready. Don't put no guesses out until you actually see the word start in chat. Then once you see that word, you'll have a minute and a half, 1 minute and a half to get your answers in. I would really like to see, holy cow, we got 91. I would love to see 91 freaking guesses in here. You know, dang, it's just a free pair of glasses. Well, actually, these are glasses for your garden, so you can actually see the right spectrum of your plants. These are for these. This in particular go round is for LED version. I have both, but this go round is for the LED version. So get a minute and a half. Let me set this timer. I love to build it up in the anticipation, but it would be nice to see 91 guesses. There you go. There's start. Should be in chat. There it is. Timer is going. All guesses before start. Rethrow them things right back in. Smiley, Dollar Tree, Hayden, Life.
Get your numbers in.
There we go.
Win some glasses.
They're rolling now.
Like mine.
Majestic just stole your fucking your guess. Yeah, here you go. Exactly. Here's the pair that I bought for myself.
Fucking fresh to death, bro. Fresh to death.
This could be you. This could be you. Not this pair though. They're in a box. You get your own new pair.
Or you could win these and look like gay Michael Phelps.
Not at all. Not at all. Smiley, somebody already used your 22. You got to throw another one in there. I'm guessing being a shitty host and that.
I wish I could see the comments.
Shark Pulley, I believe that number. I don't know. Know if that one's been drawn or not. Stay with it. I'm a fucking idiot. I just want to say that. I'm slightly stupid. I'm just going to have to eyeball this one.
Why? What'd you do?
And I'm going to write stop in chat. I set the fucking timer for an hour and 30 minutes. I'm sitting here looking like, man, seems like this is taking a fucking minute and shit. Yeah, that's been a long right there. Man, time is going slow. God, I don't know, man. I just feel like things are dragging.
That's like God hit that pause button, bro.
Slow down. All right.
Oh, that's good. Oh my God. So what are we doing? Do we got to start again?
No. I put stop in chat, and I believe there is somebody that matched that number. So we got to go out there. You throw it out there. Tell them what the number was.
Okay, like I said, I grew up as a skateboarder. So one of the first famous skateboard companies I was attracted to was ran by a man named Natus Kopis. He's a legendary street skater. And the name of that company is 101 Skateboards. So 101.
That's awesome. And you know what's funny is Slur. It was just snagged from Slurhow. He guessed right off the bat on 100, right out the door, second guess. And then
Oh,
Shark Pulley 989 snagged it from him just a few guesses later and got it
oh.
right on the board. So
I,
Shark Pulley now or Spark. Oh, God damn it! Let me say it right. I actually got to back up so I can say it right.
bro, you're high as fuck.
I may be. I may be.
Yeah, you are. You are
Hold
for
on, I
sure.
got it. I seen it and then it was gone. I actually got to look for the number now instead of the fucking name. There it is. Shark Pulley 989. Thank you, sir. You won the glasses. I got to write that down. That's funny. I almost write his name down though. It's Shark Pulley 101 though.
Okay.
I almost just changed your name, Shark Pulley. You almost were just Shark Pulley 101. I
Okay,
caught
let's
it though.
do you want to do another giveaway? I'll do one on my end.
Sure.
Same
Yeah.
format.
Hell yeah.
Okay, I gotta
Yep.
I'll go 2 seed packs with freebies, and then I'm gonna call out my brother because I know he's watching at Kineo's Genetics. You gotta match one. You gotta put in 1 pack, brother. And if you don't do that, then you have horrible customer service. And I don't mean that literally. I just mean I'm putting you on the spot, bro. I'm putting you on the spot. So I'll do 2
cool.
packs. I'll do 2 packs plus freebies, and hopefully Kineo's okay with that, and maybe he'll throw in 1 extra pack. And we'll do the same thing. What are we doing? Guess number between 1 and 300.
Yes, sir. There's still 88. And I want to see that. I mean, that's some good beads right there and freebies. I mean, come on. There better be 88 friggin' guesses here. All 88. All 88. Come on, guys. It's 100 here. 89. I love it when you call out the number and they like, multiply. Like you're just summoning them. All right, that sounds like the deal. I have the correct time on the timer this time, or so I think.
How do I send you the number?
That same chat. You can click on that chat and you can message me back, and only I can see it.
Okay.
I got it. I see that number. I see that number. Good one. Good luck on that one, guys. I got it. All right. Hitting start here. Bam. Timer is correctly set for 1.5. Please, 90 people watching. Come on. What do you have to lose here? Throw out a number. Win some gear. Pretty awesome. Kineos. Even called out Kineos. Come on, guys. We all know and love Kineos.
And I'm going to throw in a pack of black pack seeds as well. A great Canadian grower. And another homie of mine, Blue Water Grows, another great Canadian grower. Great Canadian breeders, I should say.
Please watch chat as you're throwing out that guess so your number isn't already called. I haven't seen no duplicates yet, but it is a thing.
So I should shout them out too at Black Pack Seeds on Instagram and at Blue Water Grows on Instagram. And I just noticed my name is wrong on here. That's actually my backup account. So to anyone that wants to follow me on Instagram, it's actually at endopharm1.
Actually, when that was what I copied the count that we've been talking at. That's why I changed it. But I can change it really quick. Actually, when it came up, it shows your real name. I changed it for you. That's it right there. Stop here. I will give you until I put stop in the chat, though. Of course, my computer wants to be a delay. There it is.
Did anyone get
I
it?
have not seen. Oh, I see. I don't know if anybody got it dead balls, but I tell you what, I just looked up and seen somebody that was super close. I mean, super close.
So what do you want to
All
do
right.
here? Let's give it away to the closest.
It's usually the way it goes. It's the very closest. But that's up to you. You can roll it on. This is your deal. All right. So far, there's one that's super close, one off without saying the number, to be honest with you.
Yeah, let's get. No, they deserve the fucking packs, bro. 3 packs straight up.
That's an awesome gig right there. So, number, you want to go ahead and shout out the number? Still know who they are. I see them, but
Detroit Red Wings, Stevie Yzerman, my favorite hockey player of all time, number 19.
I thought I seen it dead on there for a second. I had to go back and look. Smoke and Grow Frazier, I believe you've got it with 18. I have to double check that, guys. Yeah,
Hey,
it's
fuck,
18. There was a 119. That's the one I thought it was, but no. 18's got it.
fuck yeah.
That's
Congrats, by the way.
That's pretty cool, brother. That's a lot of good genetics right there. Hell yeah. That's a hookup in my book. That's a hookup by anybody's book.
Hey, man. That's how I roll. I really like being in, like, although I sell seeds and, I have to do that in order to, get a new property and get a grow going and all that other good stuff. But I just like to show love, and I like to hop on these shows. I like to hop on other people's lives and give away seeds. Like I said, I've done it for so long that to me, it's super dope. You know what I mean? They get that package in the mail and I can just feel their excitement. They hit me a DM on Instagram and they're like, yeah, shit, bro. My gear came in, super hyped to run it. And then eventually they're sending you pictures of the gear and, it's just fun. It's fun. It makes me feel good as a human,
Hell yeah. I love that. It is a good feeling, especially when you see them pop. You know what I mean? They actually not actually sitting there. They actually send you a picture and they're like all popping up in their garden. Hell yeah.
Yeah, that's the best. But for the record, I am all for it. I prefer to see the seeds pop as soon as you have room in your garden. But I will say this as a grower, they're your seeds. Do resell them, gift them away, grow them out, seed them out, breed them, do whatever you want to do with them. They're your seeds. It's cool if you would shout me out. If you don't, that's cool too.
Oh no, it's only proper etiquette to shout out, I would think. A little thank you, I received them. That's for sure. I always like to even ask them out, sometimes even to, when I send them, because I send out, different breeders. Yeah, I've had a few different breeders like donate seeds to the show, North Star, King Queen. And so I always make sure when I send them out to ask them, hey, could you make sure to tag the breeder too? Don't just thank me, but thank the breeder as well. You know,
Yeah.
that's
I mean, I try to. I prefer it that way, but if they don't, they don't. You know, I can't force them to do anything. But the other thing I also want to say too is like, I'm a huge advocate for preserving seeds. So if whoever has the seeds wants to grow them out and grab a good male and pollinate that plant and seed it out, fucking do it. Fucking preservation is a lot. Preservation means a lot to me. It means a lot to our community, and it means a lot to our future and our future generations. Huge advocate of preservation. So feel free. Feel free. Everyone, I get it. A lot of people just want that flower, and like chop this male. This dude's done. But hey, gotta show the males love too. Still cannabis. Still cannabis.
right
Nothing
on.
wrong with pollinating a beautiful female plant or a couple female plants or doing a breeding run. Do whatever you want to do. But I really love to see like someone say, hey, like I preserved it. It's cool. Like ever since I got into selling seeds or even giving them away, I've always encouraged people to do that because there's no better feeling than someone not having to come back to you. It's like technically it's the worst business model ever. Sorry, I was waiting for you to finish choking.
Oh man, I was struggling to hit that mic button too. I hate when I just kind of like cough into the mic like that.
Yeah.
Coffee went down the wrong too.
But it's no, it's super cool. I know it's the worst business model in the world, but it is super cool when a person finds a strain that you grew or sell or both, whatever, and they no longer have to come to you and pay you money to get that strain because they took the time to pollinate it themselves and work out their own seed. You know what I mean? Like that to me, that's legit awesome. That's legit awesome.
I definitely agree, and to me, that freebie, you can look at it multiple ways, but that to me is a great gesture of confidence, basically. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm so confident in my product that here's one. Don't even pay me for it. You know what I mean? Go
Yeah.
grow that shit out. I'm so sure you'll like that. You'll be back. You know what I mean?
Well, I don't want to be closed-minded. I never like to be closed-minded, but that's why I like my circle's really narrowed down to about, like 25, 30 breeders that first of all, it's because I know them as friends, but it's because we're very like-minded in how we grow and breed. And I know I get consistent results every single time, as opposed to just continuously trying so many other things, which is fun too. I don't blame anyone for doing that. That's just the way I chose to narrow it down. But so everything that I have, everything that I sell, everything that I donate, I know 100% is fire. I know for a fact because I've grown it. I've seen it growing out. I've seen many other people grow it out. I know the breeders personally. And to me, that just feels right, you know?
That is right. That's sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, but there's, again, to all you people out there watching, there's nothing wrong with reaching out and like going and checking out other breeders or anything. Like, by all means, find your own way. find your own path. However you want to do it, buy from 200 different breeders if you want to. That's cool too. It's just, we all have our own ways. We all have our own ways. And not to sound negative, but I got burned real bad once, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna narrow this circle down a little bit. And I've been nothing but happy with that, you know. After that, it's like, these are dudes I can call on the phone every day if I got a question, if I'm worried about, I never have to worry about lineage. Um, I know it's legit as fuck because we all treat each other the same way, and you know, it's cool that way. But everybody that grows and breeds at some point is gonna get fucked over at some point, unfortunately. And just depends on how you take it. You know what I mean? But I try not to be negative, so I ain't throwing shade on anybody or nothing like that. But it's happened to me. It's happened to probably everyone on you.
I appreciate the fact that, well, you said there that you've at least taken the time to grow out the shit before you know, so you know for a fact that you ain't passing out garbage. I appreciate that fact that, you know, not too many people would at least take that time to, I ran it, you know what I mean? I know for a fact I'm not passing you shit. So that's,
Yeah. And well, to be honest with you, you know, there is some gear that, you know, I have available that I haven't ran out. But my confidence is so high in the breeder because I've grown so many of their strains and known them as great breeders and people, that same amount of trust is there. You know what I mean? And that's why I keep my circle so tight. These are people I really trust. Unfortunately, a lot of times in the cannabis, not in the cannabis community, but I would say more in the cannabis industry, a lot of people fuck each other over. In the cannabis community, to me, means like all love, we're together, we help each other, whatever it takes. I've been very fortunate. I get, I get a lot of medicines too from people I love and trust. I pass medicines on to other people I love and trust. The cannabis industry is completely fucking different. It's just cutthroat dollar bill, y'all. You know what I mean? Like, people are fucking each other over. No one can trust each other. You never know what the end game is on that one. But to me, the community means everything, because you should love and trust everybody in this community until they show you otherwise.
I fucking really appreciate that, what you just said, on a genuine level. On a genuine level. Because, let me take a deep breath and phrase this correctly. Because there is a huge difference. And rather than, say negative things about the cannabis community in general, which a lot of people would do to cloud the matter, you took the time to kind of clarify it up a little bit as you were speaking, because most of the negative shit, like you said, does come from the cannabis industry. I mean, there is a huge difference there, and I'm glad it's, like I said, not too many people point that out. They would all rather than, say it's the industry aspect of it. They just say, well, there's a greedy side to the cannabis community and some backstabbing. And that isn't true. That isn't true. Like you said, there's a fucking big difference there, because it is the industry.
There's a huge difference. I'll give you a perfect example, and I'm going to kind of ramble on for a minute because this story will take me a minute to tell. But when me and my wife first got divorced, I was basically forced out of my community. I had nowhere to go. Who came to my aid? It was the cannabis community that helped me raise money to be able to get a place. Then we moved forward. I got back to growing. I got into, selling seeds, but that was through my friends and family through Instagram and the cannabis community. And now I'm basically raising money to buy a new house so I have a much bigger area to grow and breed with so I can supply more medicine to other people. And that's real love. That's real love. And I appreciate that. Like the cannabis, like if you're talking about the whole business side, no one would give a fuck. They'd just be like, dude's done. Dude's done. No, but people actually took the time out to say, hey man, this guy's got kids. He's a friend of mine. We got to do what we got to do to help him out. He's got mouths to feed. This is a guy we like and we want around, and we know at some point it's going to be paid forward. And like, that's a beautiful thing, man. Like with all the shit that's going on in the world today, like, it's so easy to just say love will solve everything. But like, when you're really in this cannabis community, you see and feel that love. I don't care about race. I don't care about your work, your financial worth. Like, it's just a beautiful thing. Everyone's there to reach out. So I try to reciprocate that same thing back out when other people are looking for help. Sometimes people need RSO or FECO for cancer treatments, and I'll provide it. If I can't provide it, then I'll hit up a friend and they can most likely provide it. I've done the same thing with psilocybin and flower and seeds, and we just work as a community. It's like being on one block with like all your best friends, and everyone's just there to fucking help each other. You know, like, that's kind of how I view it. There's 20 houses on the block. You can walk into any one and say, hey, I kind of need something. Do you mind helping out? And they're like, I got your back anytime. And when they come to my house, I got your back anytime. It really is a beautiful thing. It's something we need to push, especially in this world today, man, with all the crazy shit that's going on. We can actually now be the examples. We were once the criminals. Now we can be the examples of a proper society, that he who holds the seed is the best person to know. He's a family member. The farmer is the king. The farmer is the king. And as so long as he remains humble, he's the best person on the block. He's the best person in your community, because he'll teach every single one of you to be a farmer. So now everyone's a king. Everyone's a queen. That's the way it goes.
420. He says, nothing wrong with making money. Don't forget people, how you got here. There. I agree. Unfortunately, money is a necessary evil aspect of it, and that's the worst part of it, to be honest with you. Fucking money. I don't know how many times I put some quality bud in my hand, smoked some with somebody, and then, ended a fucking great visit or sesh with, so how much is it? Or, you know what I mean? What do you gotta get for that? It's always that downturn on my end.
What? Okay, can you clarify what did he say? There's nothing. Did he just said there's nothing wrong with making money?
Yeah, nothing wrong with making the money. Don't forget where that we all did it. You know what I mean?
Oh, no.
What got us here?
I'm not hating on making money. I mean, make your money.
Oh,
Everybody has to make a living. That's fine too. But I just really push to do it in the most morally and ethically correct way. When you can give.
that's what
When they can pay, let them pay. Simple things like that.
I'm just saying. Well, I just said basically that money isn't necessarily evil of the aspect of it. And when my aspect, I said it's always a downer when that subject becomes part of the a conversation or such. When the money aspect comes to, it's always fun and great until you have to put a dollar sign on it. Most of the times you wish you could just give it away. And a lot of times I do give it away, but sometimes you do have to put a dollar sign on it. And that's always and I always found that as far as with cannabis aside, when I've done jobs for somebody, when I'm doing construction, I'm sitting there fucking just built whatever, and we're both looking at it. Beautiful job, beautiful job. So you got that bill, or you have to hand the bill. I always hated that part of the fucking task. I was always proud of my work, and I always hated to bring up the money aspect. I always hated to give the bill.
Yeah, no, it's uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable, and like I've given away so much stuff, but like you also do deserve to get paid, on a certain level, and not that
But
it's fun to
I
hand
think,
them the
I
bill,
guess,
but it's also why I love bartering. Like
I guess,
I just realized, okay, I'm on psilocybin right now. I just realized that I say, you know what I mean, way too much. Holy shit! I hope I wake up tomorrow and that's out of my vocabulary. But that aside, fuck, I'm high. Um,
I help you out here, bro. What I'm trying to say to this subject though is, money's a part of it, but it doesn't have your heart can be in the right place. You know what I mean? We're talking about the cannabis industry and cannabis community. There is definitely a dark side to that. And yes, there has to be money involved in that, but that don't mean that the right, like you said, the right people can't be involved here, because and this is my challenge to this. I keep putting this talk about the psilocybin fucking with this. I keep turning this way because I keep looking at myself. I'm like, oh god, I go, oh shit,
no,
put myself in the dark there.
See that little light behind me? That is seriously fucking with me. I actually don't even know. Oh yeah, it's actually there, I think.
Might be the glare off your phone. But what I'm saying about this is there is definitely two types of individuals in the cannabis industry. There's the people that don't use cannabis and do it just because it's an opportunity to make money. And then there's the people that love the cannabis plant and are doing it because this is what they love and they want to fucking help other people, and they're just happy, they're proud to be doing it. You know what I mean? That's the difference. And it's always the opposite end of that. That is the shithead. That is the shithead. The guy that doesn't use the plant at all. This is just an opportunity to flip money. And it's just, and this is the first place I picked up on this is here in Michigan back in the day when we could do this. We had clubs, where caregivers could meet up, and there'd be 30 of us in a circle or whatever, and patients could go from table to table, and you could always fucking tell the people that were there growing because of the money, and you could tell the people that genuinely loved what they fucking do, like myself, because we sat at their tables. Yeah, we were there to be compensated, help compensate, but I don't know how many times I gave blood away. You know what I mean? People come up, smell my jars. I'm fucking like, hell yeah, open that thing up. Take a look. In fact, here, take some of it. Go sit down and smoke some of that. I know you'll be back. To where the other aspect of that, the guy with that same care, I don't even think you can call it. They don't even deserve the fucking title of being called a caregiver at that point. Would be at the end of their table, fucking pacing back and forth with the cell phone, not letting anybody really test their product, or they definitely weren't giving any fucking, here, try it, go sit down. Because at this in particular club, you could take that sample and go sit down right in the center and smoke that joint and be like, hey, this is pretty good, but there was none of that from them people. Them people are always all fucking tight. You know what I mean? You go up there and ask them, they're like, or whatever. No breaks. You know what I mean? No compassion. And I always like fucking, you could always tell the two different types there. And so could always the patients. Almost always.
The mentalities are different. I'm not sure if you know one of my good friends on Instagram. He's at Jota Herb. What?
Oh yeah, he's been on the show.
He is one of the fucking greatest dudes out there. Like that, he'll hook it. That dude will hook it up. He does so much for his local community, and he's a fantastic grower. Fantastic. Many times I've went to him and asked him questions, and he's had great answers. I love that dude. But just speaking on your point, for a couple of years, I lived on a reservation where, like I provided medicine for free for the whole community. This wasn't just like, it wasn't a club, it was the entire community. It was insane. But to me, it's proper.
I just wanted to talk about hotel a little bit there. Touch on some other shit that we were talking about. You were talking about earlier on. We haven't even touched on a lot of shit yet, or yet. It depends on you and how long you want to go. God damn it. The uses of cannabis, how we use it, how it makes us feel. When I talked to Hota, he gave me the vibe of somebody that was in touch of like nature, in touch with himself and in touch with nature. Maybe even more over like kind of that type of person that's in touch with the universe, if you will. And I asked him quite point blank, do you meditate? And I loved his answer. And in fact, I loved his answer, and I've taken and kind of ran with it and regurgitated a few times. I've most definitely regurgitated it a few times, if you will. But moreover, I've taken it as great advice. I mean, it's one of them conversations I didn't see coming either. I didn't see, when you asked me that question and I asked him that question, you know what I mean? I didn't see that answer coming either. But what he said to me was, because I asked him, do you meditate? And I'll tell you later on how it connected for me. I asked him, do you meditate? And he said, first off, he said, yeah, but isn't the act of just smoking in itself a form of meditation? And I had to think about that a little bit. I'm like, yeah, you're right. And as he's explaining it, I mean, and you take it in, you're holding your breath, you're controlling your breathing, which is a form, when you're controlling your breathing, you're pretty much forcing yourself down a meditation alley. So he said, yeah, every time I smoke, I'm meditating. And
that's one of the things I love about Yota, that like we're very like-minded, but he does have a very good way of presenting his thoughts into words and making you think. But at the same time, I just love the guy because if you ever needed help with something, definitely with growing tips or anything, I've seen him help so many people. It's crazy. The dude is crazy knowledgeable. Crazy knowledgeable. Uh, Mantis Genetics, same way. Seattle Chronic Seeds, same way. More Love Farms, same way. There's so many people out there that just they crush it in the humanitarian aspect of like there is no dumb question. I see them answer people all the time. And you know, from novice to advanced grower, they can help out. They do so many cool things, and that's why I'm proud to call them friends. Like that's an amazing thing because that's what I try to do. I do my best too. But I'm definitely not the best grower on earth. I'm definitely not the best breeder on earth. But I do know more about cannabinoids and things like that and illness, ailments, and disease. So I tend to focus. I kind of stay in my lane in certain ways. You know, where it's like cancer treatments, MS, Lyme's disease, arthritis, osteoarthritis, rheumatoid arthritis, even just physical performance, mental health issues, addiction issues. I'm I'm better than that, or I'm better at that. I'm the first person to admit it. But I love watching these guys just crush it, and teach all these other people coming up with like no ego at all, no ego, zero ego, and just be like, this is what I would do. Here's a link, or I'll shoot you a book, or you know, whatever I can do to help out. Those are the people I gravitate towards. I love that. I love seeing it. I'm a big fan of those guys. You know, I'm friends with them, but I'm also a fan because it just makes me feel good to watch it happen. Like,
I'd like to point out real quick that, and I don't mean to cut you off. I heard you, and uh, we again, I kind of touched you. We both touched on this. Everything kind of happens for a reason, and again, maybe it's the great conversation with yourself, or the psilocybin, or the fact that you brought him up on psilocybin, but must have been for a reason. And so what I'm getting at here is because we're talking about it, and I nearly forgot. And since I do have a small platform, you know what I mean, to do so, I owe Holt, I think, a little bit of formal apology for, and I want to, and I thought about this, you know, yesterday and earlier today too, about sending a message saying, you know, because I actually watched him bait a little bit, almost in an intimidating way, which I didn't really fucking mean to do the other night. And I was just moreover trying to get him to think. And I could, but the damage, I did see the damage to where I obviously have to issue this apology. He was, I'll present the side and I'll tell you what I did. He was speaking on the Cheap Home Grow show the other day. Obviously, well, he's, if I'm going to talk on it, I should be very honest, right? What set it off? I was watching him on the Cheap Home Grow show the other night. Shout out Jack, great show. Love watching it every week. I love the addition of Hoto through the show, by the way. But they were talking, and for some reason, some bad reason, and there's people close to me that strike this very same nerve. And again, that maybe the reason why it was wound so tight. You know what I mean? Because I fight this battle so frequently. He said he was talking about subcool, and that was the nerve he struck. They were talking about respect and whatnot, and personal lives, you know, and that's another thing. If anybody that presses that play button and puts themselves out there, we subject ourselves to criticism about the things we say and we do, if we like it or not. There's always going to be somebody on the other side that unfortunately is has their own perspective on whatever you're saying. Okay. And unfortunately, that's what happened this evening. And Ota, he's entitled to his opinion, and I respect his opinion. And unfortunately, it was public. You know what I mean? And you know, and in a chat. But what he said was that at one point he had respect for Sub, and then he didn't have respect for Sub about shit that he had heard. And he said that at that point he would no fucking longer grow Sub scared because of what he heard. Okay? He heard. He fucking heard it. Now, I guess I'm going way deeper down this fucking rabbit hole than I meant to. But he fucking heard it. And I'm telling you right now, because I heard you say the same thing. You only heard. There was no like trial. And I'm going to tell you this on the other end of that. If any of that were true, the people on the other side of that are just as fucking guilty for not doing anything than he was supposedly guilty of. So there's two sides of that stone. If there was anything happening, both sides should have been in trouble there, not just one.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, and
further over, he made a judgment on something that he didn't know was true or not true. And that's okay. That's okay. But he, again, made this public. And he said he at that point, because of what he had heard for some, he would no longer grow his gear. But since he had passed and could no longer voice his opinion, that he now felt it was okay to grow Sub's gear again. And I thought, wow, that really lit something in me that I didn't like. Because I've seen this a lot in my personal life of people making decisions. And I threw all these examples out to him. I wasn't necessarily trying to be mean. I was just trying to open up his mind a little bit. Because we're all guilty of this very same thing. You know, we make the fucking mistake, just like I said, of airing out our lives in public. And what we let out, we can be convicted for, you know, one way or another. And the examples, what I was trying to tell him here, and we can all be guilty of this, but we shouldn't be. We should appreciate what's been done and not necessarily the other negative bullshit side. And this is what I was telling him, country singers that cheated. You know, you can listen to a great country song and then hear, oh my God, he cheated on his wife. Oh my God, I'm not going to fucking listen to that song no more. Well, should that take away from the great piece of art that they produced and you fucking enjoyed all that time? Should that little bit of bullshit personal information that was thrown in your face tarnish all the good shit that he's done? I mean, again, I think it's Van Gogh that cut his ear off and mailed it to his, again, fucking weird, isn't it? Really fucking weird. But don't we love his art? You know what I mean? That wouldn't fly today. You know, and there's so many other examples of that, you know, it's great things that people put out, but, you know, they might have did something a little weird in the background. If it ain't hurting anybody or they're not projecting and they're, you know, trying to change your opinion, hey, yeah, fucking go cut your ear off. If Van Gogh was sitting there going, yeah, you guys should all cut your ears off and send it to your girlfriends, yeah, that would have been wrong. Maybe we shouldn't be looking at his art, whatever. But he didn't do that. It was just something he did. We took note of, and we moved on about it. Appreciated his art.
Well,
So why should that be any different for sub and a pack of seeds? Or the strains? Should we just chop his shit down because of rumors? And that's basically what he said. And as I fired back with him on these examples, I actually watched him live on air kind of sit back in his seat and not want to voice his opinion anymore. And that's why I'm issuing this apology, because he is ultimately entitled to his opinion. And if somehow or another my comments may sway something he says in the future, then I'm sorry for that. So I did see like third or fourth comment into it that I could see that it was striking a nerve with him, and I seen him like sit back in his chair a little further down, and I thought, fuck, yeah. You know what I mean? I thought, yeah. Fuck, man, but, and there was no way I could like make that right that instance, and I've it's kind of stuck with me the last few days, and I just because we talking about him, and it's just the right thing to do. I just wanted to issue this public apology to Hojo for calling him out and making him feel like that. You know what I mean? It wasn't right.
Well, good on you for doing that. But, you know, like, it's making me think. Like, one thing that I want to stress to people is that a lot of times we don't share the same viewpoint, but we can still have a discussion about it without hating each other. That's one point.
Yeah.
The other point I want to make is that we live in this weird time of the cancel culture that is like, it's so damaging to people that it's so unnecessary that I almost don't even know how to explain it. Like, people will just charge at someone and try and wreck their entire life. And I'm not talking about you and Jota, but just as humans in general, that we live in a really weird time. We need to get away from this type of stuff, because there actually is very good examples of people that made big mistakes and then turned their life around. And I think it would be a very appropriate time to say Malcolm X. Malcolm X was actually convicted. He beat his wife and spent time in prison. And now he's one of the biggest philanthropists. I can't say that right now, but a philosopher, a human rights activist. He's a legend amongst basically everyone in North America, probably worldwide. But he was essentially what we'd call a wife beater. But now he's a hero in today's culture, you know, all the way through what he's been through. And I don't want to bring that up to be negative. I want to bring that up just to show people that there's a lesson to be taught here. Like, we've all made mistakes, whether it's me, whether it's you, whether it's Martin Luther King. We've all made mistakes. We'd be idiots to fucking say we didn't make mistakes. We never hurt anyone along the line. We never did something fucking stupid, because we all did. That's how you fucking learn as a human. And sometimes that also takes maybe law enforcement, or it maybe just it's something small and it takes getting called out. So you can say, oh shit, fuck, I didn't even realize what I was doing was fucked up. But so-and-so called me out. I can realize where they're coming from. And now I'm just going to try to put it in my mind to be a better person. to not do that anymore because that offended somebody or that hurt somebody or it was something that was wrong. Humans have to grow. You know, when your 2-year-old son kicks over a table and knocks over all the drinks on the table, he doesn't go to prison for life. You don't wreck his life. Maybe you get mad for a minute and you're like, oh, don't do that. Oh, shit. You know, now I got to clean this up. But you don't wreck his life over it. So why do we do this to other people?
Most of, I mean, quick to point out here. I mean, well, Jack said that for one. Jack Screensock said some people are legitimately not worth supporting. Yeah, I agree with that. If your accusations and you have proof and that person is, you know, terrible person, yeah, you should maybe not support that person. But as Indo here is pointing out that people do change, are capable of changing. And isn't it always through our mistakes, at least the wise ones of us learn from? It's where our revelations come from, our life-changing moments. And like he was quick to point out, sometimes they're the revelations when we realize, man, I just did something that I am less than proud of, something that makes me feel like dirt. I don't want to ever do this again. I need to change my life. Some of the most inspirational moments are done from doing something shitty. And unfortunately, that's a sad way to say it, but it's very true. I mean, there's been a lot of instances, like you say, people doing something bad to someone else and maybe a drug-induced moment or a psychotic moment, angry moment, you know. There is you can actually go momentarily crazy, you know, and that used to be a defense in law, you know what I mean? And what you do during that quick second there might not be right. God damn it, people, you know, in that crazy moment. I mean, let's just talk clear about this. I mean, if you were come home, seeing your lover in bed with somebody else, in that instant crazy moment of sanity, if you hurt somebody, in the moment you probably did it. After the moment, after you calm down or whatever, would you feel bad about what you've done and maybe change your life? Or would it change you, something in you? Yeah, for sure. You know, like I said though, you know, it's our greatest worst moments that make us ultimately fucking dig in and fucking do the most deepest changes. And sometimes unfortunately, it's the same thing as hitting bottom. You know, you don't want to come back up until you bounce so bad it hurts.
And don't get me
you
wrong.
found yourself in a place.
Don't get me wrong, but like, what I'm saying too is that it doesn't mean that you shouldn't be held accountable for your actions. So maybe some of this is some of these things are warranted. I don't know. What I try to focus on nowadays is just what I call the human aspect. It's more of a a psychological thing, compassionate care type thing, where something goes wrong. Like, you need to understand the full picture. We're usually not going to understand the full picture. You don't have to support that person if you don't like them. Me personally, I will say I heard all those things about Sub and I never bought any of his gear. But it doesn't mean he deserved death and ridicule. And, you know, like, some of the things maybe he had coming to him, maybe he didn't. I don't know that aspect of it. I can't speak on that. But I think the best thing we can do as humans is try to be like, we should be through adversity, we gain strength. And as a human, you should want that person to rise up. So your goal should be able to, or should be to help them rise up. You know, I look at drug addicts all the time, and most people view them as horrible fucking people. Horrible fucking people. They treat them like shit. And these are just people that are hurting. They need empathy. They need love and support, compassionate care. So why don't these apply to other areas of our life? And again, I will reiterate that if you do something really fucked up, it doesn't mean you're above the law. And I'm not referring to anyone in particular here. Sometimes there is punishments that have to be dealt with, you know, that have to go through. But we have to be more empathetic to people's situations and what they're going through in order to lift them up, help them grow, or maybe they lift you up and help you grow. Because maybe I'm the shitty person. Maybe you're the shitty person. We don't really know. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's so twisted by internet and news articles and shit like that. Like, you're not there to witness it. You have no idea what the fuck actually happened. You're just making a judgment. And I don't mean, when I say you, I don't mean you in particular. I just mean people in general.
No, I get that. I'm reading chat too as well. That's where half these looks are coming from. Very rarely do I get to have a nice, intelligent rebuttal for Jack. This one is for you, brother. He's put up when I was talking that the difference there, first degree, second degree murder there. I'm sure he was talking about when I was talking about the husband coming in on his wife there, the momentary crazy this. Yeah, there is such a thing of, you know, doing something in the heat of the moment and planning it, Jack. You're planning a murder. You're exactly right. But again, there could be certain circumstances that doesn't necessarily define the character. Let's say, for instance, somebody goes out and they plan a murder, like you're saying, first degree murder. They plan it. They actually plan it, like Jack's saying. And yeah, okay, the guy planned it. He actually went out and hurt somebody. Knew it was wrong, or made it. It was a plan. So that justifies first degree murder. But let's say again, there's something wrong with this gentleman that normally doesn't make him right. Let's say he's a diabetic, doesn't have his medicine, not thinking clearly, chemical imbalance in his head. And during this delusional state, he put together some fucked up plan and hurt somebody. But after the fact, gets some good medicine and he realizes, he'd done wrong. Should he be ousted and not, for something for the rest of his life, treated like he was a bad person, labeled a terrible person because he set off in a direction from a chemical imbalance in his head that he didn't even see coming? Did something he's going to regret for the rest of his life? Should he take that label?
Yeah, that's crazy. But you deal with that in medical situations all the time, that the whole situation's not taken into account a lot of the times, right? But I'm gonna dip out for a quick sec here, bud. I gotta go I see 4 screens right now, so I gotta go wet my hair down real quick. But I'll be right back.
Brother, please do.
This is like, I think we're like doing the anti-cannabis show. This is fucking crazy, but it's super dope. This is not what I expected at all, but it's still super fucking fun though. I'll be right back, brother. I just got to go wet my head quick.
Right. What's up, guys? We're going to take it back to cannabis here, man. 420, 420, trade alone, Johnny Cannon Seeds, ready to hit that fire. Jack Greensoft, I love having chats with you. I do. 68 bong tokes, you're almost there, brother. 68 bong tokes. That's pretty fucking cool. Oh, yeah, even Mr. Thumbs Down showed up. I don't blame you for that. So, I don't blame you for that. Yeah, all good. Entropod, Entero, Santamalia, Grokoski, Bill Sid, Trey Malone, Page Farms. How you guys doing tonight? Quick shout outs there. Thanks, Devin. Appreciate it. The walls are talking again. They may be. That's me. Did you hit it? Ginger Snaps, hello. How you doing? Glad to see you in chat. It's funny. There's a good chance on that 420. Smoke some bud. I agree. And it's still 66 in chat. That's pretty fucking cool. Pretty cool, guys. What am I missing here in chat? Still. See a bunch of cool names tonight. New names in chat tonight. Florinova, Florinuds. Nice to see you hanging out. Pretty cool, man. This is what, your third, fourth night hanging out in chat. That's pretty cool. Pretty funny. Pretty funny, Bill said. There's no Men in Black yet. Jack smoking a whole quarter, halfy, in celebration of the show and the 100 hits. That's pretty awesome, Jack. Chiba Man, what's up, man? Welcome, man. Welcome, Chiba Man. Yeah, thank you, Devin. Not quite done yet. Still got some more to go. Unfortunately, he was busy today, pretty tapped out on me. I know you have, Grokoski. You've been helping. You've been a huge help to the show for sure, man. I appreciate that. What do we got saying here? That's funny. It's funny. Mr. Mars. Oh, let's go back up. Seriously, love that new tattoo. Oh, gotcha. I seen the double eagles there. Thought I'd miss something. I'm glad everybody's enjoying this. The goal now is this 100 is just a milestone on my way to 1,000. Calling it out right now. I think I can do it. I think I can. Yeah. Yeah, he is Voodoo Boy. He's pretty awesome. Good guys, he is pretty awesome. Let's see. Are you asking a Trey? Trey, are you asking a question? What am I missing? That's fucking funny. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. Good time for a bong rip. Ah, it did bump up to the 80s. Good looking out there, Jay. All right, go Koski. I think it's pretty cool. I wonder how are you keeping track of them, Jack? Are you actually counting them? Do you have a pad or a clicker? That'd be actually funny at the clicker. Okay. I can hear some rustling around there, TW. How are those? Oh, munchies. I could use some munchies. Kinos. Hell yeah. What's up? Cheers, brother. Been a pretty good night. Pretty good episode. How'd the tat go? You guys want to see the tat? I don't know if I can show it, how well I can show it to you, but oh, I know how I can show it to you. I'll show you guys. Hold on. Screen share it here. I can do it. I can do it. All right. We'll show you guys the tat. It should be popping up. We'll show what we want to do with this. Okay, go back down here. Start.
What's up, fam?
Not much, man. They were worried about you, brother.
Oh, I needed a fucking minute there, bro. I found myself in the mirror, bro. You know,
was the man in the mirror okay?
And when I do, normally when I do shows, any type of show, it's usually way more focused around like illness, ailment, disease, and cannabinoid talk and healing therapies and things like that. And this just went way next level. I just went and I had to go cool off. And then I looked at myself in the mirror and I was like, whoa, okay. I need to step back for a second. The beauty of psilocybin, sometimes you got to take a minute and do a little self introspective. And it's like, damn. Hopefully we're getting good comments though. Hopefully people are enjoying the show. And it is
sure.
it's 100th episode, so I still really wish, like, just for everyone that's tuning in, I am on my phone, so I can't view the comments, which sucks for me because I usually like to watch the comments. And but I hope you guys are all having a good time and everything's all love and all positive. I know we got into some topics there that are a little bit touchy, but not my intention ever to be inflicting any pain or any type of I don't even know how to put it right now, but I don't want any negative thought. I just want everyone to be happy, healthy, and safe. And anyone that knows me knows I'll say that every single time I talk to them: be happy, healthy, and safe. Love you, whether it's a man, woman, you know what I mean? So hopefully everyone's enjoying the chat. I'm having a fucking blast, other than I am hot as fuck, man.
But it's all good. We go down all different aspects. See, that's the thing about the show is I didn't tell you, but I usually do tell people in the beginning that you got 10 minutes to however the fuck you want along, tell your story and whatever. And there's no set path to this. And I don't sit down with a list of questions. You know what I mean? Actually, when in the beginning I started doing that, I would sit down and I would go over their page and I would come over, with a list of questions. Almost every time I did that, the fucking person canceled on me. So I started to view it as like a bad omen.
Uh, I
So
got
I
you.
eventually started out play this by the fucking hip every night, and but it does. It goes, sometimes, and we're not done. Quite frankly, we could go down. We started down that road, but I drew you back to like the beginning story. And again, I'm going to draw you back, because we
Yeah.
never even got into like the growing aspect. We kind of got down to, we call them the rabbit holes around here. There's a lot of times I'll put them in the titles too, like, because there's times where the guest will only go like an hour. There's sometimes the guest has been, half hour. And then there's times I've pile in, people from chat after the guest leaves. And sometimes we went down these very same rabbit holes without psilocybin, without it, just fucking talking amongst ourselves. And usually, like, say, like if that were to happen tonight, the episode would be labeled like fucking talking shit with Eagle, episode 100, featuring endopharm1, and then it would say, then the rabbit hole afterwards, because then they'd know, oh shit. After Endo left, man, they fucking went right down the rabbit hole. And the rabbit hole could be fucking anything.
I do love
Anything at all.
I do love the format of the show though, because like I'm a huge fan of comedy. I'm sarcastic as fuck myself, and I love comedy, and I watch a lot of podcasts just because laughing makes me feel good. And but I love that aspect of like nothing was planned. We're just literally here fucking talking shit with the eagle.
So it's more of a more genuine moment, I think, for the both of us on the other end.
Yeah.
And again, like just like you said, you've been on a lot of shows and you've talked about this, and sometimes I've noticed that about a lot of guests I've had on, and it draws me right back to what I said before, how you can get bored with it. I've had a bunch of guests on. I'm gonna call out Pedro on this one. I was talking to Pedro, and then I kind of dipped in a little bit with the rosin. I asked him about rosin dust and shit, and you could see that he was giving me his information, but you could tell if I didn't change that tone real quick, that it was going to be the end of it real quick, because he had been over it 1,000 times. It was at this point the interview was work. I could see it all over his face. He was no longer enjoying it. And so, I figured, what the fuck? At that point, I kind of withdrew and started joking around with him and shit, because it should be fun. The whole point of this is to get to know the person behind the guy that we see on the other shows. This is the opportunity to get the other side of the guy that we see talking cannabinoids all the time. This is the opportunity to, because a lot of times you can see these people, and there's two things I'm going to say about this right here. You see them very uptight sometimes, and and they're not as relatable. You know what I mean? As this right here. I can see you on a show right now, and you could be like, nothing but facts, nothing but facts, nothing but facts. And I may take you to be very knowledgeable, but I might not go, I don't know if I can hang out with that guy. You know what I mean? But seeing you like this, you know what I mean? I'm like, man, that guy's got great knowledge, and I think I can fucking hang out with that dude. You know what I mean? It builds a whole, it makes
Hey,
a more friendly aspect to the person, I think.
but that really is me. Like I want to make people comfortable. I love making new friends. I love helping people out, but for the most part, hey man, this is life. We only live it once. I don't want to be mad at anyone. I don't want to go on a show that's like super scripted. Um, when I mentioned that on previous shows that I've been on, they kind of just gave me a cue, like, could you please kind of veer off this way? They weren't giving me scripted questions. So I was okay with that. Like if I feel I can educate other people in that aspect that they're looking at, then I'm okay with that because I view myself as an educator, and I'm okay with that. But it's still not the funnest thing in the world to do. You keep doing the same thing, it gets it gets old. But it's super cool to meet new friends. Like this is just like me and you sitting down smoking a joint together and being like, you know what, I fuck with this guy, he's cool, and literally just make a new friendship, which is a cool thing to be appreciated, you know. And
Not that, and
hopefully all
again,
the viewers out there appreciate that too. That you know,
I was just thinking about this as we were talking, but it's also a good way to, again, when this leads me to my second point, I guess. And I didn't even see this one coming. I do enjoy the mushrooms sometimes. Sometimes when you have your own little stupid revelation there, I didn't even see that part coming, but yeah, got pretty farted there. There's two sides to this coin too, and that is in this conversation. Cannabinoids, some have been talked about, okay, but again, in not that semi-scripted way. It was in a more genuine. We were talking about it like as friends, you know what I mean? You can see the more passionate side in it, you know, and not so rehearsed or put together. But it was because it was a casual conversation. You could see the more passion and feeling and behind what you were saying. Versus, if this would have been back and forth in an interview, it might not have been as passionate. It might have been more as formative. And that's the other thing I want to say about these other a lot of other shows. And you've kind of like briefly touched on. And I'm not taking anything away from anybody as far as like knowledge, but we see a lot of these people on these shows, and we go, "Wow, man, they're pretty fucking smart and shit." Look at them, they sit there and they go, look at them, super smart and everything. But I don't think in the same aspect that people realize that in a lot of these shows, they've had plenty of fucking time to research. Hey, this week we're going to talk about fucking cannabinoids. So you have like that week to research and put shit together and fucking, look knowledgeable before, it isn't, and sometimes I wonder how knowledgeable some of these cats would be if you were just in a random conversation, without the week prep. You know what I mean? Next week we're going to be talking about this.
Totally, for sure.
I sometimes think that some of these guys wouldn't be as on their toes about some of these subjects if they didn't have time to prep for them.
Well, the thing is, too, is that some people don't want to look like they're unprepared. They don't want to, I'll be completely honest. Like, sometimes when it comes to cannabinoid science, there's certain aspects that I forget. I have to go back and relearn because the studies never end. But I would agree with you that if you told me exactly what you wanted to talk about, I wouldn't do it, but a lot of other people for sure would do it. Just start hitting up PubMed and looking at studies and looking at the recent stuff said about certain cannabinoids. And they would probably come off as some sort of expert. And I can admit my own flaws. I'm not perfect all the time, but I've been around this forever. I could tell you some crazy stories. Like if you wanna talk, like actually I'll just tell you a crazy story. I'm sure the viewers would appreciate this. Or maybe I'm just gonna ramble, but this one's gonna take about 20 minutes though.
Hey buddy, this is your show. If you want to fucking You're 20 minutes. We want to hear whatever you got to say. That's what I just said 10 minutes ago. This is your time. You want to tell it in 10 minutes? You want to take 5 hours? I'm here. Tell your story.
So when I graduated early, I got into health and nutrition really heavily, supplementation, pharmacodynamics, pharmacokinetics. They were things that I was passionate about. And at the same time, I was bodybuilding. Well, I shouldn't say I was bodybuilding. I should say I was weight training. But I was working with a couple of bodybuilders. And somehow through the internet, I forget what the name of that forum was called, but I ended up linking up with about, I think it was 6 or 7 guys. And they were all brilliant guys. Amazing. Like the diversity was there. We had different age groups. We had different ethnicities. We were from different parts of the world. And we kind of just got together and we're like, hey, we're kind of running this forum. Like, with new, I'm talking about new knowledge. And somehow we just kind of got together and said, why don't we just do this ourselves? And maybe we can do something really cool. We're all, well, most of us pretty young, like 17 to 23. One was a little bit older, but brilliant minds. And I'm talking about kids from Oxford, like no slouches. Shout out Loki, even though I know you'll never see this. But we ended up forming something called the Round Table. And the Round Table was just a kind of a keyword between us where we all started a group chat and we started trying to figure out better ways to utilize hormones and lipolysis, which is basically fat loss. And we were studying other hormones that no one else seemed to be studying, like leptin, ghrelin, and trying to figure out ways to manipulate them. And we were having tremendous success within the group. And we all kind of took a role, like maybe I'm weaker on this aspect, but he was better at this. So I would lead it and then he would take off with it. And we were figuring out all these different things all at one time because we were working as a team. And this is where shit gets really fucking crazy, because we started developing what was called a pro hormone and then a pro steroid. We were figuring out ways to actually take something that existed in Mother Nature, use a carrier, rub it on your skin, and then through the body, it would bypass first pass metabolism in your liver, which is CYP450, which would break it down. It would convert it into an actual steroid, which at that time was brilliant. It was brilliant. It was a brilliant idea. And somehow we ended up, I don't even remember exactly how this happened, but we actually ended up working for pharmaceutical companies and supplying supplements to athletes in the Olympics that would later be used for the military. It was fucked right up. Like I developed, or I didn't develop, I reintroduced something called beta-phenylethylamine, which was like a high grade amphetamine, like a naturally occurring amphetamine. I pulled the plug on that because as soon as I tried it, I was like, this is going to really hurt people. You know what I mean? But this stuff was going high level. It was going way above what we could control. We were just kids kind of like realizing our dream that we could make stuff and it would benefit people, and the pharmaceutical industry was recognizing us, and it was being used by Olympians, and then it was going into the military industrial complex. Like it, when you're a young kid, that seems so cool. That seems so cool. And then you come to this realization that morally and ethically, this is completely fucking wrong what we're doing. This is completely fucking wrong. And a lot of shit come from that. Like I got legit, when I pulled out of that, I got legit death threats. The leader of the group ended up in jail or in prison. If you research you probably heard about it, the Balco scandal in the Olympics. But okay, you can Google that. My friend Patrick Arnold, he took the hit. I think he did 4 years in prison over something that wasn't even illegal at the time. They just needed a scapegoat. It was fucking crazy. I was getting threats on my life. My family was getting threats on their life. It was fucking insane. And, you know, that went on for a couple fucking years. It was a really scary fucking thing, man. And at the end of the day, do I feel bad about what I did? Yeah, because it probably hurt some people, and that's not what I stand for. But I was really just a kid figuring his way through organic chemistry and thinking this is cool as fuck. This is cool. Like I'm changing the fucking world. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but in the, I mean, again, I kind of went over this with Andrea as well. He feels the same kind of regrets about introducing the PHO patent. You know what I mean? Watching people get hurt because people when he released that patent and people were making less power machines. You know what I mean? Other
Yeah.
than the type that he had patented, he was getting pictures of people of shards of glass in their eyes, and pictures of people blowing themselves up with this process, and he's still dragging around a lot of exactly what you're saying here, regrets and shit. But sometimes the way people use things once they're released, I mean, there's obviously you saw some good in it. Otherwise, you wouldn't have researched it further. But and it should have been utilized for whatever good purpose it's had. Just because somebody twists it and uses it in the wrong way doesn't necessarily mean that whatever you discovered was bad. It just
Well,
means it
that's why.
was utilized in the right ways. I mean, like I
That's
told
why.
him, I says, do you think the guy that invented the magnifying glass is fucking kicking himself for all them idiots that turned around, held that thing to the sun, and went fucking blind? No. No, it's just fucking a dummy that didn't
That's
fucking
a good
understand.
example.
You can't
That's
go
a good.
kicking yourself for the rest of life for that. You know
That's
what
a
I'm
good
saying?
example. But you know, shit was really it was really fucked up. I don't wish that on anyone, like these young scientists out there and stuff. Like it's so quickly you can be manipulated. But another thing I wanted to touch on was that at that time, um, we actually came across something called the Jew papers. And I don't mean that to sound racial. Um, that was the first time I discovered CBD, because Israel was light years ahead in cannabinoid research, fucking light years ahead. I think it was 574 published studies in front of me that not many people had access to. And I think it was Loki that got them through the University of Oxford in London. And at that time we were so focused on one aspect that we didn't utilize that aspect. But I always kept that stuff for future research. It really was amazing. Like those, what we refer to as the Jew papers, has amazing information in it that really does need to be shared. Really does need to be shared. And a lot of it has obviously formed my opinion on, or knowledge, or however you want to put it, of like cannabidiol is almost useless as an isolate. It's almost useless. It's so in quick and out quick. It almost does nothing. A full spectrum CBD does so much more. Now you add THC, like higher amounts of THC to it and other cannabinoids, and then you manipulate the terpenes. Then you're talking about real fucking medicine, like real potential medicine. And that's why I hate, like, CBD isolate is so cheap that all these pop-up startup companies are just pushing this shit out the door, and many of them are making lots of fucking money. And that shit don't help you. It really don't help you that much. Like, I'm not saying you won't see any benefit. You probably will see a minute benefit, at least temporarily. But remember, I mentioned earlier on in the show, CBN isolate knocks it out of the park. Some cannabinoids do not work well as isolates, and CBD would be one of them. It works good. CBD isolate works good in topicals. It works good in soaps. It works good in balms. And in some cases, it would work somewhat decent in like a vape or some sort of, quick anxiety relief type thing. But it's nowhere near like a full spectrum CBD. Nowhere near. Like, I have so many fucking papers on that. The differential is crazy. But because CBD isolate is so easy to extract, the process is so easy, and it's so cheap to obtain, it's in almost every product you see out on the market today. It's just insane. What do you think about what I just said? Your thoughts on that? I want to hear what you have to say about that.
CBD, I think like you're saying, it is a little bit overpreached. It does need to be full spectrum. It does need to be THC in there to utilize, especially for pain. I mean, it does have its benefits, like you say, for short-term anxiety and some other benefits, but it isn't exactly what they claim it to be. And furthermore, all these startups that you're talking about, it saddens me that it's so freely available, because we all know that there's a good source and bad source of everything, especially when it's an oil. You know what I mean? How it's derived, just it's no different than an essential oil. When you're shopping for an essential oil, you want first press, second press, third press. There's different grades to that, and the manufacturing of CBD oil, in my opinion, is no different. There can be a top grade to that, and that's not what is available at these gas stations, smoke shops, and fucking Walmart, video stores. It's the last of the line there, basically. And it really pisses me off that it's so rarely available, because it's going to put a bad, it's going to kill it. And I've said this, I almost think they flood the market with this shit just to kill it. Just, here, it's everywhere. Try it. Yeah, it's fucking legal. Then they put nothing but garbage out there so you can, oh, this ain't worth a shit. Yeah, damn pot smokers fucking tricked us and shit. That's kind of my view on that when it's can be good medicine, but not.
I would tend to agree with you on that because, like, nowadays, if you look at, say, a source like PubMed and you're trying to gain knowledge and information and wisdom on what you should utilize as a medicine, the studies are all flawed because they're all using CBD isolate. Or I shouldn't say all of them, but most of them are using CBD isolate. And if you get CBD in an oil, it should. Okay, here's my word of advice. I tell this to everybody. What's good CBD? What's a good CBD tincture? Well, first of all, it should taste like cannabis. Not fucking vanilla, not water, not fucking lavender, not, if it's medicine, it tastes like cannabis. That's just a fact. That's a fact. But so many of these studies are being done solely with CBD isolate because it looks purer on paper from a clinical aspect. So if you're going to run a study, it's easier to do an isolated study. So you use an isolate because it removes a whole bunch of other or related factors that you can't control. I mean, you can basically make 10 bottles of CBD and they're all going to be a little bit different. They're all going to vary just a tad bit. Every plant you have in the back of your grow right there, they could all be the same strain. They're all going to vary in terpene content. They're all going to vary in cannabinoid content. And even if it's minute, but that makes a very big difference when it comes to a clinical study. So they all want to go to CBD isolate. And CBD isolate is just not effective. It's not effective. Like well, I shouldn't say it's not effective. It's just so short term. It's so short term. The half-life on it is super quick. If you take a 50 milligram dose, your body is maybe absorbing about 4 to 7%. So you think about that, that's a minute dose. A minute dose. So you're getting to the point where, like, do I just drink the bottle? I'm having a panic attack. Do I drink the whole fucking bottle? Because it's being metabolized so quick and it's got such a short half-life and it doesn't pass the blood-brain barrier properly that it just doesn't work that well. Like, we as medicine men, we're trying to make the best product available at the cheapest cost that gives you the most benefit, right? We're not looking at how can I make money, because some of the CBD isolate, I don't know about in the States, but some of it in Canada for 1 gram could cost as much as $120.
I've seen it as well. I'm guilty. I'm guilty, Endo. Guilty. Because I do use a little bit of the CBD. So today I did stop in and fucking. This is what gummies look like when you set them in the sun, by the way. This is what 1,000 milligrams of fucking gummies look like when you set them in the sun. It's a big ball. I'm still going to eat this shit.
Yeah.
I'm still going to eat this shit. It's going to be good. But
hey, I use full spectrum CBD every day. I basically, at this point, with a broken leg, I pretty much have to. pretty much have to. You know, otherwise I'd be down a world of hurt with opiates and all sorts of other pain relievers and stuff. And it's just, you know, it's my way to go. You know, I choose to go natural other than to go with opiates and other pain relievers. But there's just such a night and day difference that I wish people would realize that. That's why I support people like, you know, at Hope Farms, amazing medicine woman, at Green Thumb Naturals, a great friend of mine. Those two are in the United States. In Canada,
She's in
at
California. Give her a kick in the butt, will you? She got mad at me. I do talk to Hope Farms, and I was talking to her because I had reached out and she was helping a friend here in Michigan with some RSO and getting him on schedule, and awesome. And then I reached out to get her on the show, and I said, again, so maybe you can help me fix this. Because I still want, I passed by her the other day and I thought, God damn it, I want her to come on the show. But so I was talking to her about RSO, and then I asked her to come on and tell me about CBD. And her reply was, I don't use CBD. I got full spectrum over here. I don't utilize, I use full cannabis RSO, not just CBD, just CBD. I utilize the full planet RSO as effective medicine.
Yeah, but
she's like,
her medicines are.
I'm sorry.
Her medicines are fucking top notch, man. And same with Green Thumb Naturals, and same with my favorite in Canada is Buddy Rosin Alchemy. He does fucking phenomenal work. But that's, I think, Buddy.
All I was trying to say about Hope Farm, so is you're right, absolutely phenomenal medicine, great people, all that good stuff. And she just was saying that she wasn't going to come on here and beat the CBD drum, the just CBD drum. She was like, it's got to be whole plant. You know what I mean? It's CBD in itself. Same thing you just said. CBD all.
Oh shit. You just froze up, brother. Can you see me? Can you see? But yeah, anyways, yeah, no, it's full plant is always way better. Full plant is always way better. And I apologize to the people watching out there right now if I'm talking over Eagle. He froze up on my end. So I don't know if he's talking right now or not. But oh yeah, there we go. Yeah, he froze up. Let's see if he continues on. But yeah, Hope Farms is right. You're much better off to go full plant, full spectrum, and utilize all the cannabinoids and terpenes. It's amazing the difference it makes as in comparison to CBD tincture, CBD isolate. And if you need CBD, then you go with high CBD strains, and that's why I'm breeding a lot of that stuff. I'm breeding high CBD strains. Let's see if we can get him back on here. I don't know how to get him back on here.